Chapter 642. Because Qin Wan-er was passing by Xingkai Hotel during the mission, she couldn't stay for too long. After everyone chatted for a while, she hurriedly left. I'm really sorry, I have to leave now. In fact, I really want to have a relaxing weekend, but I really have no choice. I can only pray that this matter will be solved before the new year. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to have a good new year. Su Yin shrugged his shoulders and asked without hiding anything. Then don't you plan to tell me about the trouble you've encountered? Maybe I'll be free these days, and I can help you. First of all, I'm not interested in cooperating with the police or catching thieves. I just don't want you to be unable to enjoy the new year because of work. Obviously, this will make all of us very uncomfortable. I'm already very comfortable that you can say that, Qin Wan-er said. After coming to Xinjiang, I slowly found that I've become more and more dependent on you. I'm afraid that once I get used to relying on you, I won't be able to do anything independently. Su Yin, you know me. I'm definitely not doing this because I have a problem with you. Su Yin laughed dryly. Of course, you can't have a problem with me. I'm a good person who thinks about everything for you. Okay, since you don't want me to help you, I won't force you. But at least let me know who you're investigating. This will make me feel more at ease, and it will also make Sister Shuang and Guogua feel more at ease. Qin Wan-er thought for a while, and finally took out a photo from her pocket. It was a photo that she secretly took of the suspect. This is an important secret of the case. Showing it to you is already a violation of the rules. After you see it, you must wait for me to solve the matter with peace of mind. Then everyone can have a happy new year together. Su Yin looked at the photo. It was a man in a blue leather jacket. His hair was short, and there was a scar on his chin. He was standing in front of a tea house, holding a phone in his right hand. She didn't know who he was talking to, but there was a cigarette in his left hand. Because the photo was secretly taken with a wide-angle lens, many passers-by were also photographed. At first, Su Yin was expressionless, but he suddenly frowned. Because he lowered his head, only Guogua and Bufifan saw the sudden change in his expression. They didn't know if Su Yin knew the person in the photo, so Guogua and Bufifan didn't say anything. They silently waited for Qin Wan-er to put away the photo and drive away. Then they both looked at Su Yin. Do you know the person in the photo? Bufifan didn't hide anything. He asked without hesitation. Why did your face change when you saw the photo? Su Yin did not expect Bufifan to suddenly say, Really? The person in the photo was from Taiwan. I've never been to Taiwan, so how could I know him? Did you see wrongly? My expression has always been like this. Dad, you're lying. I also saw your face change. Guogua said seriously. Brother Bu didn't see wrongly. Su Yin smiled bitterly and said, It seems that I should take you two to the hospital for an examination. Didn't you hear Sister Wan-er say that this person from Taiwan rarely comes to the mainland? Do you think I know him? Guogua and Bufifan shook their heads. Su Yin's words made sense. Indeed, they didn't interact with each other. How could they know each other? You kids shouldn't get involved in the adults' business. Ruan Qingshuang said. You guys should take care of yourselves. Before you do anything, you have to tell the adults first. Do you understand? Guogua nodded her head like a chicken pecking rice. Seeing that Bufifan didn't respond, she pulled his arm, indicating that he should sincerely agree to Ruan Qingshuang's request. Bufifan didn't think too much when he nodded. Ruan Qingshuang walked in front with the two children. Su Yin and Chang walked at the back of everyone. Seeing that everyone's attention was not on them, Chang said, Brother Yin, what did you see in the photo? I know that you definitely don't know that person. If you did, you wouldn't hide it. But you must have seen something wrong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so absent-minded. Su Yin saw that there was no one else and nodded. That's right. I saw Wu Yuandong in the photo. Although he was the same as the other passers-by in the photo, I'm sure that it's not that simple. It's definitely not a coincidence. Chang was stunned. No wonder Su Yin's expression changed. Although Chang didn't know some things about Wu Yuandong, they had more or less met. The second day after Wu Yuandong returned to Qingdao, he left without saying goodbye. No one knows where he went. Now he's in Xinjiang, and there's a suspect from Taiwan Island in Xinjiang. Even if it's all a coincidence, it's still reasonable. But Wu Yuandong appeared in the photo secretly taken by the police. It's a bit far-fetched to say that it's a coincidence. Su Yin. I can only hope that it's a coincidence. But do you believe it? If only you had a way to convince me. Chang shook his head helplessly. Although it looks like there's definitely a problem, I still hope that it's a coincidence. Brother Yin, if only you could see more of the photos taken by the police. If he doesn't appear in the other photos, then we can still hope that it's a coincidence. But if he's in the other photos, there was no need for Chang to continue. Su Yin knew what he meant. Yes, if he's in the other photos, it's too ridiculous to say that it's a coincidence. Things might not be as bad as we think. Even if Wu Yuandong is related to this person, he might not necessarily be involved in their crime, Chang said. Indeed, Wu Yuandong had already left the Three Lotus Gang, and the leader of the Three Lotus Gang had always misunderstood him. Su Yin also believed that he wouldn't help the Three Lotus Gang anymore. However, Su Yin couldn't figure it out. That's the problem. This person is a member of the Three Lotus Gang, but the leader of the Three Lotus Gang is obviously not stupid. He wouldn't be stupid enough to let his people cause trouble on the mainland. They can do whatever they want on Taiwan Island, but they don't have the right to do so on the mainland. The mainland police won't allow them to do whatever they want. Brother Yin, what do you plan to do? Xiangzi only knew a little about these things, and he knew very well that he couldn't help much at all. Su Yin patted Chang's shoulder. It's okay. I'll think of a way to deal with these things. Your task is to help Sister Shuang manage the hotel. You don't have to worry about anything else. I'll go out for a while. If Sister Shuang asks, tell her that I have some personal matters to attend to. Chang nodded. He immediately took out the car keys from his pocket and handed them to Su Yin. Brother Yin, be careful. If you need my help, you must give me a call. I know. Su Yin took the keys and went to open Chang's Audi. He quickly left the hotel. He had seen the tea house in the photo. It was the place where Yi Fala had invited him to tea that night. It wasn't far from the Xingkai Hotel. If he wanted to know what Wu Yuandong was doing, Su Yin had to find him first. This tea house was Su Yin's only clue. Although he didn't know what to do next, it was the only thing he could do now. After Ruan Qingshuang found that Su Yin had left, she immediately went to find Chang. Where did Su Yin go? Sister Shuang, Brother Yin said that he had some personal matters to attend to, Chang said. He didn't say what it was, and I didn't dare to ask. Sigh. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head helplessly. He really can't stay idle. He must want to help Wan Er solve the problem as soon as possible. Forget it, let him be. With his help, I feel more at ease. I hope Wan Er can also close the case as soon as possible. It's not easy being a police officer. Chang nodded seriously. That's right. He works himself to death to earn a few thousand yuan. I really don't understand what Officer Qin is thinking. If I were him, I would have quit long ago. If you were a police officer, you wouldn't be able to pass the exam. Ruan Qingshuang said bluntly. You can't understand the noble character of a police officer. If all the people in the country don't want to be a police officer, and think that they work too much and don't earn enough money, what about Social Security? Chang smiled. Sister Shuang, I'll say something you don't want to hear. How many people in the country can work as hard as Officer Qin? Even if there is one in every county, there won't be many. Most of them are just idlers, hee. Ruan Qingshuang wasn't so disappointed with this society. She felt that there were still many good people in the world, and there were still many good police officers. You don't do what you should do now. Do you also want to idler? Chang felt wronged. You came to find me, but he didn't dare to say anything. He quickly went to do what he should do. After Su Yin drove to the tea house, it was very deserted. There were indeed very few people coming out to drink tea early in the morning. In such a high-end place, there was almost no one. Everyone liked to talk about things in the afternoon or at night, so they chose this kind of place, whether it was the environment or the atmosphere, that was particularly high-end and classy. Welcome. When Su Yin pushed the door and entered, he was still received by the receptionist with a professional smile. Sir, how many people are there? Do you have a reservation? The receptionist's enthusiasm made Su Yin feel embarrassed if he didn't drink tea. No, I'm alone. Just in this hall. Give me a pot of chrysanthemum. Su-yin. Is chrysanthemum the cheapest? The receptionist smiled slightly. Sir, our warm water is free, and soy milk is the cheapest. For tea, chrysanthemum is indeed relatively cheap. Su-yin was here to inquire about things. If he drank free water, he was afraid that he wouldn't be liked, so he could only change his words. Then give me a cup of soy milk. Su-yin had seen the price of tea here. A pot of chrysanthemum would probably cost him a lot of money. Although drinking soy milk in the tea house seemed a little out of place, since they had this service, Su-yin didn't feel embarrassed to ask for it. However, this soy milk powder brewed with hot water actually dared to ask for 180 yuan a cup. What was the difference between this and the palace wine made with erguotu mixed with plain water? He really didn't know what the people in the Bureau of Commodity Prices were doing. The phenomenon of price fixing in high-end places was common, but no one had ever dealt with it. Chapter 643. After the waiter served the soy milk, Su-yin went straight to the point. Miss, I want to ask, have there been any guests with a gay accent in the tea house recently? Sir, I'm sorry. The tea house is quite busy. I really didn't pay attention to this. The waiter said, I think there should be. After all, our Xinjiang is an international metropolis. There are people from all over the world. Therefore, the people who come to drink tea should be people from all over the world. Please think about it again. It should be in the past few days. The kind that is too gay and has a heavier accent. Su-yin said this because he guessed it himself. Qin Wan'er said that the suspect rarely came to the mainland. Therefore, he should be in the gay area more often. Therefore, his accent should be heavier. The waiter shook his head. Sir, to be honest, I really don't know what a gay accent is like. I really can't say. The waiter didn't have much interest in talking to Su-yin about this. Because the boss had a rule. If someone casually asked about any tea house guests, he had to try to brush it off. Su-yin frowned. You don't even know about a gay accent? For example, Daddy, do you know how to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? I don't know. Then I'll teach you. That's it, that's a gay accent. The waiter's face darkened. Sir, you're not joking with me, right? That's a gay accent? I've seen gay movies. The accents of the gay girls are not like this. Sorry, if you don't have anything else, please enjoy your meal. I still have other things to do. Wait a minute. Su-yin stopped the waiter. It's not convenient for my identity to be exposed, but since you're so uncooperative, I can only tell you. I'm an Interpol officer. These things are arranged by the higher-ups. If you don't cooperate, I have the right to take you to assist in our investigation. The waiter was stunned. But why are you taking me to assist you? I already said that I don't know. Because you said that you've seen gay movies. You know how gay people speak. Su-yin said. I recorded everything you said just now. That's why I have the right to take you back to assist in the investigation. I hope you can cooperate. I really don't know. The waiter felt wronged. Sir, even if you're an Interpol officer, you can't do whatever you want. This will affect my life and work. Then think about it carefully, Su-yin said. Try to tell me all the details you can think of. The waiter had no choice but to cooperate obediently. After a moment of quiet contemplation, he said, 3 days ago, there was indeed a guest who was too gay. At that time, he was also in the hall. He ordered a pot of bilyuakun, and then kept making calls. About an hour later, he paid the bill and left, but he didn't drink any tea. Su-yin nodded. Then what are his physical characteristics? Short hair, and there seems to be a scar on his chin. I didn't take a closer look. And then he was wearing a blue jacket. The waiter racked his brain for a long time, but that was all he could think of. Really, that's all I remember. Su-yin pondered for a moment before asking. Was he alone? Did anyone else meet him or say anything to him? No, I remember very clearly. He was alone. The waiter said with certainty. Thank you. If I need anything, I'll come back to you, Su-yin said. The waiter smiled bitterly. Sir, I'm just an ordinary worker. If possible, I really hope you don't come to me. I've told you everything I know. I don't want to get myself into trouble. You're an Interpol officer, so you must be handling big cases. I'm really scared. Don't worry, no one will affect your life. As Soo-Yun spoke, he wrote down his phone number and handed it to the waiter. This is my number. If this person comes again, I hope you can inform me immediately. After the case is over, I'll help you apply for a 100,000 reward. 100,000 yuan. The waiter was stunned. Her monthly salary was 2,000 yuan, which could be said to be quite low in Xinjiang. With 12 months of salary and a bonus of 1,000 yuan at the end of the year, it would take her 4 years to earn 100,000 yuan. And now, the reward for a clue was 100,000 yuan? In an instant, the waiter's attitude was no longer as reluctant as before. Her eyes shone brightly. Really? Really? After Soo-Yun finished speaking, he took out his wallet from his pocket, took out 2,000 yuan, and handed it to her. I can pay you today's clue fee first. To be clear, this is my personal fee. If it's from the government, it will definitely be much higher. If it wasn't for the fact that her family didn't have much money and she didn't have the ability to do other high-paying jobs, the young waiter certainly wouldn't have come here to pour tea for such a low salary. Soo-Yun took out a month's worth of her salary, so she was naturally overjoyed. Remember, if there's any situation, you must contact me immediately. 100,000 yuan. Soo-Yun smiled slightly, drank up the cup of soy milk, and got up to leave the tea house. He grasped the weakness of the waiter in the tea house. He knew that she was a person who needed money, so he came up with this plan to spend money to buy his own spy. Originally, she worked in the tea house, so it wouldn't arouse anyone's suspicion. Moreover, Soo-Yun didn't need her to do anything. He just wanted her to inform him when she saw that person. After leaving the tea house, Soo-Yun immediately dialed Qin Wan'er's phone. Where are you? I think I can help you. Bring the photos taken by the police. You tell me the place, and I'll go to find you. Soo-Yun, are you okay? Qin Wan'er's voice sounded very surprised. You didn't want to get involved in the police's affairs at all before. If I wanted you to do something, I would beg you. I haven't seen you for a few days, and your temperament has changed a bit too much. You actually offered to help me. You can take it that my temperament has changed now. Soo-Yun said. Of course I have my own purpose, but if you don't want to show me the photos now, I won't tell you. Qin Wan'er thought about it, and finally decided to agree to Soo-Yun's request. In half an hour, I'll wait for you at the entrance of Xinhua Bookstore at 138, Bund Avenue. I'm in a hurry now, so don't be late. Okay, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Soo-Yun hung up the phone and drove directly to the Xinhua Bookstore on the Bund Avenue. Half an hour later, the two met as promised. Soo-Yun didn't get out of the car. When Qin Wan'er arrived, she recognized Chang's car at a glance. She directly opened the door and got in the car. After getting in, she didn't waste any time. She took out the photos and handed them to Soo-Yun. These are the things you want. Soo-Yun took the photos and looked at each one carefully. Qin Wan'er patiently waited for Soo-Yun to look through the photos one by one. Finally, when Soo-Yun finished looking at the last photo, he said, Don't tell me you didn't see anything wrong with the photo? In the face of Soo-Yun's question, Qin Wan'er didn't say anything at first. Then she smiled and said to him, If we saw something wrong, I think you can see it too. Soo-Yun, I know your purpose is not to cooperate with the police, so I don't need to say more. Yes, my purpose is the other person in these photos. Soo-Yun said, He is my friend, so I want to know what he is doing. In all the photos that Qin Wan'er took, Wu Yuandong was always among the passers-by. Even if Wu Yuandong changed into different styles of clothes, he could still be recognized as the same person. The police were not stupid. Qin Wan'er was no longer a hothead. She had learned how to analyze problems. Of course, she would pay attention to any suspicious details. Do you know who your friend used to be? Qin Wan'er asked. She was obviously warning Soo-Yun not to treat anyone as a friend. The leader of the Taiwan Three Lotus Society's Qingshui Hall. Soo-Yun didn't hesitate to say Wu Yuandong's identity. You must have investigated it. Wan'er, I am not a person who will casually make friends. I will only say that he is my friend if I think he is someone I can make friends with. I can guarantee that he is definitely not what you think. Qin Wan'er's expression was very surprised. She didn't expect Soo-Yun to know Wu Yuandong's identity. You know, What else do you know? Su-Yun said. I definitely don't know as much as the police. That's why I came to you. Can you tell me where they are now, especially Wu Yuandong? Since the police can take these photos, you must know where they are. If you asked me this question yesterday, I might have considered lying to you or answering you. Qin Wan'er said. But now we don't need to, because we have lost all our surveillance of them. That's what happened last night. Our men have been watching them all the time. But this morning, we found that the target disappeared. Not only one disappeared, but both disappeared. Su-Yun knew that Qin Wan'er wouldn't lie to him. His eyebrows quickly knitted. I'm sorry. I really don't know how to tell you. But this is the truth. Qin Wan'er said. We have to suspect that the two of them are accomplices. Otherwise, how could it be so coincidental that they both disappeared from our surveillance? If they didn't discuss it, how could it be so coincidental? Su-Yun didn't believe that Wu Yuandong would do those crimes. If he was that kind of person, he wouldn't be willing to be a driver in the Sky Entertainment Group. Qin Wan'er, if you believe me, then listen to me. I promise that Wu Yuandong will never have any collusion with the suspects you are investigating. His appearance must be for other reasons. But no matter what, we have to suspect him. Qin Wan'er said. Su-Yun, I am a police officer. I am different from you. You can do things based on feelings, but I have to pay attention to evidence. Under the premise that there is no evidence to prove that he is innocent, I will never let go of any suspect because of personal feelings. Su-Yun nodded. He could understand. I understand. I know what you are thinking now. That's why I want to help you. That's why I offered to cooperate with the police. Qin Wan'er smiled. She was very clear that Su-Yun was doing all this for her. Thank you, but now I really can't provide you with anything. Now that the people can't be found, I have no other way. I also hope that you can help me. Phew. Well, my time is limited. I will go first. Chapter 644. After Qin Wan'er left, Su-Yun was indeed a little disappointed. The police's clues had been broken. How could he find one or two people in a metropolis with tens of millions of people? It was not an exaggeration to say that he was looking for a needle in a haystack. However, it was harder than finding a needle. At least a needle would not walk on its own in the bottom of the sea, but the person Su-Yun was looking for could. The reason why Wu Yuandong suddenly appeared in Xinjiang must be related to that person. And what that person did in Xinjiang for the Sanlian society should be the key to the problem. However, Qin Wan'er did not mention anything about that person to Su-Yun. Su-Yun did not ask. He knew that if Qin Wan'er wanted to talk about it, she would naturally tell him. There must be a reason why she did not talk about it. Perhaps Qin Wan'er had become a mature police officer. She hoped that things could be solved by the police's own ability, instead of relying on Su-Yun again and again. After all, Su-Yun could not consider problems from the standpoint of the police all his life. Now this matter involved Su-Yun's friends. Naturally, Qin Wan'er would not say too much to Su-Yun. Qin Wan'er had her own difficulties. Without any evidence, she would not talk nonsense. She could not tell Su-Yun that his friend had something to do with the explosion of the biggest jewelry store in Xinjiang 3 years ago, without any evidence. This would cause conflicts between her and Su-Yun. Qin Wan'er had already made up her mind. She must solve the case of the jewelry store in Xinjiang. Even if Su-Yun's friends were involved, she would not allow any criminals to go unpunished. That case had not only caused the loss of priceless jewelry, but more importantly, 12 lives had been lost in that case. Perhaps simply speaking, it was not enough to shake people's hearts. However, if one really saw the people around those who had lost their lives, after seeing their parents, wives, and children, there would be no one who would not hate them. There would be no one who would not want to bring those criminals to justice. Qin Wan'er was a police officer. She had the obligation to solve this matter with the power given to the police by the country. No one could influence her decision on this matter. When Su-Yun stood up, Qin Wan'er made a decision. She could not rely on Su-Yun. Because of Su-Yun's initiative, she was worried that he would do something against his principles. A minute after Qin Wan'er left, she received a message from Su-Yun. Wan'er, I am not a person who would go against my principles. Even if my friend is very important to me, if he has done something wrong, I will still make him bear the punishment he deserves. However, this matter might not be that simple. Be careful. The people from the Three Lotus Association are not to be trifled with. After Chin-won read it, she smiled. She didn't reply to Soo-yoon, but her heart felt warm. Everyone had their own reasons for doing anything. Naturally, Woo Yuandong also had his own reasons for leaving without saying goodbye. He didn't want to implicate others with his unfinished business. That was why he left without saying goodbye and came to Xinjiang alone. Woo Yuandong was very clear that he had to be very careful with every step he took. It was already 10 p.m., and he had been avoiding the police's tracking and investigation for the entire day. Now he could not find Chin-yi, who he had been secretly following. He knew that Chin-yi liked to drink, so he came to Xinjiang's Bar Street at this time. The gold and jewelry robbery 3 years ago was the final reason that forced him to leave the Three Lotus Association. It was because of that disagreement that he fell out with the hallmaster of the Crimson Gold Hall, Ji Feng. Ji Feng could be said to be above everyone in the Three Lotus Association. Other than the president and Miss, he was the third most powerful person. Although Wu Yuandong's position in the Three Lotus Association was quite high, he did not have any advantage over Ji Feng. Ji Feng only needed to fan the flames by the president's ear a few times, and Wu Yuandong was seen as a thorn in the president's side. As for what Ji Feng said, Wu Yuandong did not know. From then on, he knew that he no longer had a place in the Three Lotus Association. He could be framed at any time and be forced into a dangerous situation. The reason why Wu Yuandong was able to leave Taiwan was because of eldest Miss Compassion. Otherwise, he would have been beheaded long ago. This time, Ji Feng's most capable subordinate, Chin-yi, came to Xinjiang. It must be related to the gold and jewelry robbery 3 years ago. Wu Yuandong was very sure of this point. This news was told to him by the only brother he still trusted in the Three Lotus Association. Wu Yuandong was very clear that Ji Feng had always seen him as a thorn in his side. Especially after knowing that he was let go by Miss Mercy. He wanted to end his life with his own hands. Therefore, he should stay as far away from Ji Feng as possible. But in the end, he still resolutely made the decision to come to Xinjiang and cause trouble for himself. It was not for anyone else, but purely to repay Miss for saving his life that year. Wu Yuandong was very clear about what it meant if Ji Feng came to Xinjiang, because of this matter again. It could be said that Ji Feng wanted to end the era of the president, and start a new era of his own. Otherwise, he would not have arranged for people to appear in Xinjiang to search for that person. If Ji Feng really wanted to make a move, it meant that the president and Miss were in danger. Wu Yuandong was a person who knew how to be grateful. He remembered the kindness the president had shown him. Even after the president listened to Ji Feng's slander and wanted to kill him, he still felt grateful. Wu Yuandong was even more grateful to the young lady for saving his life. Ji Feng's subordinate, Chin-yi, came to Xinjiang to find that person and take back the firearms that belonged to them. The gold and jewelry robbery 3 years ago was also because of this matter. Wu Yuandong remembered very clearly that the president had arranged for him and Ji Feng to come to Xinjiang to do something. But after the matter was over, Ji Feng suggested a scary idea to him that night. Wu Yuandong's thoughts quickly drifted to that night 3 years ago. Yuandong, do you remember the Xinjiang jewelry store on the Bund Road? Ji Feng had acted like a close brother to Wu Yuandong at that time. Of course. Wu Yuandong smiled and said, Big brother Feng, what do you like inside? I'll give it to you. Ji Feng knew that Wu Yuandong was not joking with him, but what he wanted was not such a simple gift. I want everything inside. Do you want to give it to me? Big brother Feng, don't joke with me. How can the salary that the president gave me be enough to buy the entire jewelry store? Ha ha ha, you said it yourself. This is the biggest jewelry store in Xinjiang. Wu Yuandong was still smiling casually. If you really want it, then I'll just have to snatch it for you. Ji Feng smiled slightly. It's good to hear that. We'll make a move tomorrow. Wu Yuandong was suddenly stunned. Big brother Feng, what do you mean? Make a move? Do you really want to? That's right. I really want that jewelry store. Ji Feng said lightly, Yuandong, didn't you just say that if I really want it, You'll help me snatch it? Big brother Feng, don't joke with me. Wu Yuandong shook his head vigorously and said, this is the mainland. We'll definitely be scolded by the president if we cause such a big trouble. Besides, before we came out, the president repeatedly told us to go back immediately after completing his task. We must not cause any trouble. Now that we've finished our task, we can leave tomorrow. Why do we have to make a move on the jewelry store? Ji Feng's patience was getting less and less. Yuandong, if you still treat me as a brother, then help me. These gold and jewelry will all be ours. Big brother Feng, why do we need so much gold and jewelry? This is the mainland. As long as we make a move, we won't be able to leave this place. Wu Yuandong explained helplessly. With so much gold and jewelry, even if we snatch it, we won't be able to pass the security check. Ji Feng sneered. Who said we're taking it away? I naturally have my reasons for wanting these jewelry. Yuandong, if you promise me now that you won't tell anyone what I said to you, then I'll convey my intentions to you. Wu Yuandong opened his mouth wide in surprise. You said, I need these gold and jewelry to exchange for firearms. Once I get these gold and jewelry, I can immediately hand them over to the middleman. 3 months later, I'll come to get the firearms. Ji Feng said very calmly. This was definitely something he had planned for a long time. Because it's going to be the new year soon. Tomorrow is the biggest update day of the year for this jewelry store. This means that if we make a move tomorrow, we can get double the gold and jewelry. What do you want the firearms for? Wu Yuandong's attention was no longer on the gold and jewelry. Ji Feng suddenly hugged Wu Yuandong's shoulder. Yuandong, don't you have any ambition? Don't you want to be respected by everyone on Taiwan Island? With these firearms, we brothers don't need to listen to anyone's command on Taiwan Island anymore. We can do whatever we want. Why can the president respond to a call? It's because he has firearms in his hands. He can let those who submit to him get even more powerful weapons. Everyone supports him. Everyone respects him. Don't you want to become someone like him? Wu Yuandong was finally completely stunned. You want to rebel? Brother Feng, why? The president doesn't treat you badly at all. Why do you want to rebel? You're the hall master of the Three Lotus Association's Crimson Gold Hall. Don't you have a high enough status? All of us respect you. The president also thinks highly of you. Are you still not satisfied? Ji Feng sneered. Think highly of me? Then why don't you betroth the young miss to me? Then why do you keep using a vague attitude to brush me off when I mention this to him again and again? Yuandong, don't you understand? The president only has one daughter, the young miss. Whoever the young miss marries, the Three Lotus Association will belong to. But the president doesn't agree to let the young miss marry me. You're 10 years older than the young miss. Of course the president won't. Wu Yuandong said. Brother Feng, stop. Don't do such a stupid thing. Even if the young miss doesn't marry you, you're still an important person in the Three Lotus Association. Yuandong, where do your ambitions lie? Ji Feng shook his head. I've said so much to you today. If you don't want to help me, then you can only go against me. Wu Yuandong shook his head. I won't tell anyone about what happened today. Brother Feng, as long as you let go and give up everything you're doing now, I'll treat it as if nothing happened, okay? I beg you. I've always treated you as my brother. Brother Feng, listen to my advice. There are some things you can't do. I'll listen to your advice. Then who'll listen to mine? Ji Feng suddenly became furious. Wu Yuandong, if you don't help me today, then don't blame me for being rude to you. Chapter 645. Wu Yuandong really couldn't understand why Ji Feng would do such a thing. However, when he returned to Great Bend Island, everything changed. He didn't know what Ji Feng said to the president, but when Wu Yuandong returned to the Three Lotus Club, he was placed under house arrest by the president. For 3 whole months, he didn't see the president or Ji Feng. The 3-month deadline was when Ji Feng went to Shin River to retrieve the firearms. Wu Yuandong tried everything he could, but failed to convey everything he knew to the president. The people who were assigned to watch over him were all Ji Feng's trusted aides. Wu Yuandong was in complete despair. He didn't know what he could do to save the president and Mississippi. However, The heavens seemed to be playing a joke on them. Ji Feng did not get the firearms at Shin River, and even almost lost his life there. The firearms that should have been his had been stolen by someone else. Ji Feng did not even know if it was the middleman who betrayed him, or the firearms dealer who tricked him. Everything did not go as he wished. All of Ji Feng's plans died in his womb. He could not take over the president's position in the Three Lotus Association, nor could he win eldest Mrs. Hart as he wished. Ji Feng vented all of his anger on Wu Yuandong. He used this brother of his, who had always been loyal to him, as a punching bag. Under Ji Feng's instigation, the president decided to publicly punish Wu Yuandong. It was the Three Lotus Association's ultimate punishment, death. However, eldest Miss was kind and thought of a way to let Wu Yuandong go the day before the punishment. This was why Wu Yuandong came to Jibei to hide his strength and becomes Wu Meiyin's driver. After that, the only person Wu Yuandong contacted was his most trusted brother in the Three Lotus Association. He also found out from this brother that the president and Ji Feng were looking for him everywhere. Wu Yuandong originally thought that he would spend the rest of his life like this. His only worry was that Ji Feng would threaten the president and eldest Mississippi. Fortunately, Ji Feng could not find the middleman of the firearms dealer. Wu Yuandong had always hoped that things would end here. Time would grind away Ji Feng's ambitions. However, a few days ago, he received a message from his only trusted brother in the Three Lotus Association, saying that the middleman had appeared in Shin River again after hiding for 3 years. After Ji Feng received this news, he immediately arranged for people to investigate. It seemed that Ji Feng had never thought of giving up on his ambitions back then. After Wu Yuandong heard this news, he decided to leave without saying goodbye to resolve the ill-fated relationship back then. He would never allow Ji Feng's people to find the middleman. If they found the middleman, he would eliminate him without hesitation and completely destroy Ji Feng's ambitions. As for why Wu Yuandong didn't tell anyone about this matter, it wasn't because he didn't trust Su Yun, but because he didn't want to bring trouble to everyone. The Three Lotus Society was not to be trifled with. Wu Yuandong was from the Three Lotus Society, so he naturally knew this very well. The bar was a boiling cauldron of voices, but Wu Yuandong couldn't find Ji Feng's right-hand man, Qin Yitian. 3 days ago he found Qin Yitian on this bar street. Qin Yitian liked to drink and hang out in bars. This was Wu Yuandong's only clue, so he could only search every bar on this street. Just as Wu Yuandong was about to get up and go to another bar, a palm landed heavily on his shoulder. Wu Yuandong's first reaction was that this was bad. Reflexively, he turned around and threw a punch, but his fist was tightly held in the other party's palm. Su Yun. When Wu Yuandong saw the face of the person in front of him, he was dumbfounded. Why is it you? Su Yun released Wu Yuandong's fist and sat beside him. Brother Dong, you really don't treat me as a brother. You know that I'm in Xinjiang now, but you didn't call me when you came here to drink? Are you afraid that I can't afford it? Or are you trying to help me save money? Wu Yuandong's expression was somewhat guilty. Brother, I have some personal matters to deal with now. I'll explain it to you after everything is over. If there's time, I'll definitely treat you to a drink. What if I tell you that the police have already started investigating the entire bar street? Shouldn't you be thanking me? Su Yun raised his eyebrows. Wu Yuandong's expression changed, but he didn't say anything. He had just gotten rid of the police's surveillance yesterday, and he didn't expect to be found again today. Maybe the police didn't just come to the bar street to look for you, but also to look for a bender who came from afar? Su Yun said lightly, Brother Dong, I treat you as a brother. That's why I thought of asking you for help when I went to such a dangerous place like the Xing, Anling Snow Forest. I even told you that I needed your help at the cost of your life. But you didn't do the same to me. You don't treat me as a brother, or I, Su Yun, am not worthy. Wu Yuandong didn't know when the police would find him, and he didn't know how to explain it to Su Yun. Su Yun, I swear that I treat you as a brother. But some things can't be explained in 1 or 2 sentences. I'll explain it to you when I have the chance. Now I'm leaving. How can you be a brother? Su Yun said coldly. If you're leaving now, then you're not going to treat me as a brother. Why are you afraid of the police? Shouldn't you explain it to me? If you don't explain it to me clearly, You'd better believe that I'll help the police arrest you. Wu Yuandong frowned. Brother Su, trust me. Just trust me this time. Brother Dong, then you have to give me a reason to trust you. Su Yin said and got up directly. If you don't want to be targeted by the police, then follow me. I can tell you directly that after you disappeared from the police's surveillance today, they can directly put you on the list of those who can be arrested directly. And seeing that the police have done so much, they may have received the order to kill you directly. After saying these words, Su Yin walked directly to a secret door in the depths of the bar. Wu Yuandong struggled with his thoughts, but finally he made the right decision. He got up and quickly followed Su Yin's footsteps. Being with Su Yin was more comfortable than being with the police. Explaining to Su Yin was much easier than explaining to the police. The two of them quickly left the bar. Su Yin quickly drove Wu Yuandong away from the bar street and arrived at the entrance of a secluded park. Su Yin didn't turn off the engine. After parking the car, he said, Brother Dong, explain to me how you ended up as a suspect in a serious case. Although I treat you as a friend and a brother, I also have my principles. If you really did something outrageous, I won't cover for you. But as a brother, I'll help you take the blame. Wu Yuandong shook his head helplessly. He really didn't know how to explain it to Su Yin. Brother Dong, I want to hear the truth. Su Yin. This is why I'm looking for you. The reason why Su Yin was able to find Wu Yuandong in a day was because of the photos he saw in the afternoon. There was a time stamp on the photos. When Wu Yuandong first appeared as a passerby in the photo of the suspect, it was on the bar street. Then there were many photos of the suspect alone on the bar street. Therefore, Su Yin deduced that the suspect was a person who liked to drink. Wu Yuandong also knew this characteristic. Otherwise, Wu Yuandong wouldn't have found the suspect on the bar street for the first time. The bar street immediately became Su Yin's target. When night fell, Su Yin waited on the bar street. That was how he found Wu Yuandong in the vast sea of people. Su Yin gave Wu Yuandong 5 minutes to consider. Wu Yuandong finally told Su Yin what happened 3 years ago. Although the whole thing had nothing to do with Wu Yuandong, and Wu Yuandong was also a completely helpless person, he still seemed to blame himself. He blamed himself for not being able to stop Ji Feng. Wu Yuandong blamed himself deeply. If he had been able to stop and persuade Ji Feng back then, the president and the young mistress wouldn't have fallen into the trap today. The 12 lives at Xinjiang jewelry store wouldn't have died innocently. After hearing the whole story, Su Yin didn't doubt Wu Yuandong at all because Wu Yuandong said that he wanted to hear the truth. Since Wu Yuandong dared to go to the ice forest with him 10 days ago, it meant that Wu Yuandong would never lie to him. Brother Dong, this matter isn't your fault at all. Su Yin. You know very well whose fault it is, but you still care about the old friendship. Now yes. But today, I won't care about the old friendship. Wu Yuandong's voice became cold. If I see Ji Feng again, I won't be soft-hearted, Su Yin. The problem is that you don't have the ability to compete with Ji Feng now. He is the hall master of the Red Gold Hall of the Taiwan Three Lotus Society. What are you? He has so many subordinates to send. But you want to go into the tiger's den alone? Brother Dong, you are not a naive person. How could Wu Yuandong not know the difficulty of this matter? But he had no other choice. Let me help you. Su Yin smiled faintly. I heard that the young miss of the Supreme Bent Three Lotus Association is a peerless beauty. I've long wanted to meet her. This might be an opportunity. Ha ha ha, Brother Dong, you don't have to feel burdened. I'm just helping a beauty. I don't want a peerless beauty to fall to the point of serving a sinister scum like Ji Feng. Wu Yuandong was stunned. After a long time his eyes turned red. Brother Su Yin, I will always remember what I owe you. Brother Dong, are you saying that I'll always remember the favor I owe you in Xing'an Mountain? Su Yin said. It's a pity that my brain isn't that good. I can't remember so many things. What should I do? Wu Yuandong finally laughed out loud after so many days. Ha 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 ha. It seems that the heavens have long arranged for me to have a brother like you on the continent. Good, then I won't be polite. Su Yin, I need you. I really need your help. I definitely can't watch the Three Lotus Society fall into the hands of a despicable person like Ji Feng. Su Yin grinned. Hee hee, maybe your young miss will fall in love with me and insist on marrying me. Sigh, if the president insists on giving the Three Lotus Society to me as a dowry, then I will be in trouble. Brother Su-yun, don't blame me for not reminding you. In this life, there is no one who can catch the eye of our young miss. Wu Yuandong said. Don't be too charming. Maybe our young miss will really fall in love with you. At that time, don't blame me for not letting you leave Taiwan Island. Su-yun shrugged. But if I want to go to Taiwan Island, I have to first deal with the guy Ji Feng arranged to find the middleman. Chapter 646. Su-yun nodded. He finally knew why Wu Yuandong had been secretly following that person. After knowing all the facts, Su-yun felt much more relaxed. At least Wu Yuandong didn't disappoint him. Wu Yuandong indeed wasn't directly related to the gold and jewelry robbery 3 years ago. He didn't participate in that crime, so the police didn't have any evidence or reason to convict him. The police didn't have any evidence or reason, which was an indescribable relief for Su-yun. In this case, Su-yun didn't have to worry about not being able to explain himself in front of Qin Wan-er. Now, not only was Su-yun helping Wu Yuandong, but he also didn't go against justice, the law, or any principles. The initial apprehension in his heart was swept away. Although Su-yun had helped Wu Yuandong escape from the police's investigation circle, Wu Yuandong had completely lost track of Qin Etian. If Qin Etian met the middleman while Wu Yuandong couldn't track him, everything would be meaningless. Hence, at this moment, Wu Yuandong's mood was far from as relaxed as Su-yun's. To describe it in layman's terms, Wu Yuandong was like a man on fire, who couldn't even find a cup of water to extinguish it. Brother Dong, if my guess is right, Ji Feng's men wouldn't be able to find the middleman so easily in Xinjiang. Su-yun. He appeared for so many days, and he knew very well that he was being targeted by the police, but he still didn't finish his job and left. Obviously, the middleman didn't appear. In the many photos the police took of him, most of the time he was on the phone. Obviously, someone was behind this. You contacted the police? That Officer Qin? Wu Yuandong was stunned. If I didn't contact the police, I wouldn't even know that you were involved in this matter. Su-yun said. In every photo of that Qin Etian, you're just a passerby. Even I can tell that there's something wrong with you, let alone the police who spend their days solving cases. Wu Yuandong shook his head helplessly. It seemed like changing his clothes was useless. Perhaps the police weren't the only ones who noticed him. Even the police noticed me. Maybe Qin Etian noticed it too. It was because he sensed my existence that he kept delaying and refused to meet the middleman. Su-yun nodded. That explanation makes perfect sense. Every time Qin Tian has an appointment with the middleman of the arms dealer, he would sense your presence before he could make contact with the middleman. Then he would call to cancel the appointment. He might have cancelled it because he sensed the presence of the police, Wu Yuandong said. That won't happen. If they're just there to have a chat and they don't have anything on them that the police can use as evidence, the police won't do anything. Even if he knows that the police are monitoring him, he has nothing to worry about. Su-yun said. It doesn't matter if the police see the middleman, because the middleman may have been under surveillance for a long time. But just like him, the police couldn't do anything without evidence. But you're different. He sensed your existence. So if he met the middleman rashly, you would remember the middleman's face, and you might do something. Wu Yuandong couldn't deny that Su-yun had hit the nail on the head. Yes, I haven't had such a strong urge to kill someone for many years. Su-yun laughed. Yes, if I were you, I wouldn't let him off either. This kind of person deserved to be punished, and deserved to die 10,000 deaths. Even if we don't get rid of him, someone will sooner or later. But the police are particular about evidence. If they can't find any evidence in their lifetime, they can get away with it forever. These people are too smart now. It's impossible to expect them to leave evidence for the police to kill them. So even if I use lynching, you'll approve of it? Wu Yuandong was stunned. Why not? Su-yun said. Who among these people doesn't have a few cases of murder? Who hasn't done anything outrageous? Since they're threatening the people you care about and want to protect, you have no reason not to fight back. Brother Dong, Didn't I use lynching when I went to the ice forest in Xing'an Mountain? Sometimes, it's not that we don't respect the law and the police, but that we have no choice. As a member of the Dragon Brigade's Dragon Fury team, Su Yin had the right to take action against the dark side of the underground world. And Wu Yuandong was originally from the underground world. They had nothing to worry about. Although they could take action, they couldn't find the middleman. Wu Yuandong sighed. Brother, I have a feeling that once Qin Yi finds out that he's gotten rid of me, he'll meet the middleman immediately. I might fail again this time. I don't know what the middleman looks like, so I can't stop him. Maybe they'll meet today. Su Yin shrugged. Since things had come to this, there was nothing for him to be depressed about. He just had to think of another way. Not only did he get rid of you today, but he also got rid of the police. It's a good opportunity to meet the middleman. Wu Yuandong clenched his fists tightly. The opportunity was so precious. What if he missed it? Right at this moment, Su Yin received a call from an unknown number. Who is this? Hello. Brother Interpol, I'm working at the tea house. The girl on the phone said carefully. The customer with a crooked accent you mentioned has appeared again. Su Yun's spirit was instantly lifted. What is he doing now? He has an appointment with someone, and he's already gone to the room upstairs with them. After the girl on the phone finished speaking, she reminded Su Yun, Brother Interpol, will I be able to get 100,000 yuan for the tip? Su Yun smiled. I'll go over now. As long as I can see those two people, I'll arrange for someone to send the 100,000 yuan to you tomorrow. Really? Then hurry up, I'll try my best to hold them back for you. Su Yun hung up the phone and looked at the depressed Wu Yuandong. Brother Dong, get ready to go. Go find Qin Yi and the middleman. I want to find them too, but where do I find them? I don't have any idea right now. Wu Yuandong said. I only know that Qin Yi Tian likes to drink, so I went to the bar street to find him. Now the bar street is full of police officers. You only know that Qin Yi Tian likes to drink. Maybe the middleman likes to drink tea. Su Yin smiled. Wu Yuandong was stunned for a moment. He seemed to have realized a problem. In the past few days that he followed Qin Yi Tian had been moving around a certain tea house. Once, he even went to the tea house to ask for tea and left without drinking. Obviously, the tea was not for himself. He didn't like to drink it, and it was prepared for the guests. How did you know? Wu Yuandong really admired Su Yun. This guy was too godly. He could even guess this? If you think about it carefully, it's not difficult. Su Yun smiled and pointed at his own head. Because I've seen all the police photos, and I've seen it as a bystander, so I know better than any of you. I have a temporary informant in the tea house. According to my speculation, Qin Yi Tian's accent should be very heavy, so I asked a waiter in the tea house to help me keep an eye on him. See, he called. Wu Yuandong was impressed but also doubtful. Can a waiter's words be trusted? Su Yun shrugged. Brother Dong, no one can't live with money. Especially a waiter with a salary of 2,000 yuan a month. It's hard for him to resist the temptation of 100,000 yuan for clues. Wu Yuandong was speechless. He could only give Su Yun a thumbs up. Brilliant, really brilliant, ah. He might as well change his name to Detective Conan Su. The two of them drove quickly to the tea house. Wu Yuandong had never been as excited as he was now. He finally had the chance to do what he wanted to do for so many years. He didn't know how to thank Su Yun. If it wasn't for Su Yun, he might have missed this one and only opportunity. Once Qin Yi Tian got the firearms from this middleman, Ji Feng's ambition would be ignited again. At that time, the president would be forced to abdicate, and Miss might be taken away. Then Wu Yuandong would be a sinner. If he couldn't even protect the people he was indebted to, how could he still have the face to live in this world? Faced with this opportunity, Wu Yuandong was prepared. Su Yun and Wu Yuandong just got out of the car and entered the tea house. The waiter that Su Yun contacted before quickly ran in front of Su Yun. Brother Interpol, they are in a single room upstairs. I'll bring you there. Bang! When the locked room door was kicked open, the two people in the room stood up nervously. Su Yun and Wu Yuandong walked into the room unhurriedly, making the two people in the room even more nervous. especially the one on the left. Qin Yi Tian, why? Don't you recognize me? Wu Yuandong looked at Qin Yi Tian, who had short hair, a scar on his chin, and was wearing a blue leather jacket. You should recognize me, right? If you don't, why did you hide from me for so many days? Brother Wu. Qin Yi Tian's expression was uncertain, and the change was obvious, but he still addressed him respectfully in the end. The person sitting on Qin Yi Tian's right had a head full of shiny blonde hair, and rings all over his fingers. His mouth, ears, and nose had all sorts of shiny studs. He wore a pair of patched-up beggar's jeans, and a black leather jacket that was as small as a bra. This chap was definitely a punk among punks, the non-mainstream among the non-mainstream. Su Yin was a little surprised. This guy in front of him? He was the middleman of the firearms dealer? Wasn't he a little too immature? Qin Yi Tian, what the F***ck is going on? That punk middleman suddenly became angry and smashed the teacup. Are you trying to play some tricks with me? Let me tell you, this is the mainland. It's not that you're too gay. Even if your brother Ji Feng is here, he wouldn't dare to play any tricks with me. Are you here to talk about firearms or not? Qin Yi Tian didn't expect Wu Yuandong to bring a stranger in. He was also furious. This has nothing to do with me. If they want to find trouble, what can I do? Since you're so awesome in the mainland, help me deal with them. This is the person that brother Ji Feng wanted to get rid of. After speaking, Qin Yi Tian pointed at Wu Yuandong. Wu Yuandong sneered. Qin Yi Tian, even if Ji Feng wants to kill me, you have no right to speak in front of me. Brother Wu, I've already given you face. The hall master of the Three Lotus Association's Clearwater Hall has already changed. You better not be ungrateful. If you leave now, I can promise you that I won't tell brother Ji Feng about you in Xinjiang. Chapter 647. The blonde-haired punk was enraged when he heard this. Do you guys really think nothing of the mainland? I'm the local tyrant here. Su Yin originally didn't want to make a move. After all, Wu Yuandong and Ji Feng were hall masters of the same level in the Three Lotus group. Qin Yi Tian was also Ji Feng's subordinate, and after seeing Wu Yuandong, he respectfully called him Big Brother. It was obvious that Wu Yuandong's strength was above Qin Yi Tian's, so there was no need for Su Yin to do anything. But Su Yin couldn't stand this blonde punk anymore. There was a saying, if a tree isn't fixed, it won't grow straight, but if a person isn't fixed, they'll be valiant. Pa. When this sudden slap landed on the blonde punk's face, he realized that he shouldn't have talked so much nonsense. You dare to make a move on me in my territory? Just you wait. If you have the ability, then slap me. Your territory? Hee, even if it is, I'll still slap you, Su Yin spat disdainfully. A wolf eats meat wherever it goes, and a calf gets beaten wherever it goes. Don't tell me you don't know this simple truth? I'm in a good mood today, so I'll teach you a lesson. The blonde punk was suppressed by Su Yin's aura, and his mind was in chaos. Who the hell are you? I've been in Xinjiang for so many years, who doesn't know my nickname, Mad Dog? Do you know the consequences of offending me? Su Yin waved his hand and slapped him again. The sound of the slap was earth-shattering, and the blonde punk who called himself Mad Dog saw stars. I've seen many mad dogs, but most of them eat shit on the streets. This is the first time I've seen a mad dog drinking tea in a tea house. Seeing that the middleman of the arms dealer was being slapped, Qin Yi Tian obviously wanted to help. If you want to make a move, then measure your own strength first. Do you think you can win against someone who even I don't dare to touch? Wu Yuandong's words dispelled Qin Yi's impulse to make a move on Su Yin. Thinking about it, it was true. If Qin Yi didn't have some skills, Wu Yuandong wouldn't have brought him here to help. Qin Yi took 2 deep breaths. Big Brother Wu, I did everything because Big Brother Feng asked me to. If there's anything, you can talk to him. I'm just an errand boy. It's useless even if you look for me. I don't know anything. If you don't know anything, then tell me. Why did he ask you to run this errand? Wu Yuandong sneered. He can't just ask you to treat this mad dog to a cup of tea, right? Qin Yi wasn't willing to say anything. His expression told Su Yin and Wu Yuandong that he didn't dare to say anything. He was worried about the consequences. Ji Feng's punishment might be even more severe for him. Although Qin Etian didn't want to talk about it, Mad Dog had no intention of keeping his mouth shut. They're asking me for weapons from 3 years ago. The two of you better let me go. Even the people from the Three Lotus Association are looking for me to contact the military munitions. You should know that I'm not someone you can afford to offend, right? I'll give you one chance. Let me go right now. And I'll let bygones be bygones. Where are the weapons? Where are the things from 3 years ago? Qin Etian glared at him. Mad Dog, Big Brother Feng said that he'll give you 3 days to tell him where the things are. I've already paid you the consultation fee. What else do you want? Before Mad Dog could speak, Su Yan stepped forward and grabbed him by the neck. He quickly rummaged through his pockets and found a brand new check. It was 200,000. Su Yan shook his head and put the check in his pocket. Someone who can earn 200,000? Do you think he's some big shot? Him. And he's connected to the Military Munitions Association? A middleman? Ha ha ha. Even an idiot can see that this guy is just an errand boy. He's not the real middleman. Wu Yuandong also believed that as the real middleman, there was no way he could make any deals with Ji Feng. After all, he had stolen Ji Feng's weapons. Ji Feng wanted to kill him right now. Yellow Dog, do you know that? You're just a scapegoat. Your boss wants you to trade your life for 200,000. You don't even have the chance to spend it. Su Yun said helplessly. And you're acting like an idiot. Do you think the real big shot is as tasteless as you? If I were an overseas Military Munitions Association and saw a knockoff like you talking business with me, I'd definitely shoot you. Mad Dog was speechless. After his identity was completely exposed, he could only make a final struggle. I'm telling you, you better not mess with me. I.e. slap. Su Yan wouldn't give him a chance to continue acting. He slapped him hard and knocked him unconscious. His head hit the ground and he fell flat on his face. Su Yan shook his head helplessly. I've told you before. If you're a coward, you'll get beaten up wherever you go. You still don't keep a low profile. Wu Yuandong's gaze became sharper. Who is the real middleman? Where is he? I really don't know, Big Brother Wu. Everything I did here was arranged by Big Brother Feng. The contact person's phone number was also arranged by Big Brother Feng. I'm just here to run errands. I don't know why the other party found such a fool to meet me. Su Yan was speechless. You don't even know? Ji Feng still has the nerve to arrange for you to come out and do things? The other party is obviously playing with you. They couldn't find the weapons for 3 years, and now you want them just because you want them? Is that possible? They've already swallowed what they should and shouldn't, and now you want to play with them. Why wouldn't they do it? Tell your Big Brother Feng, you've been played. Idiot. What do you mean? Qin Etian's head buzzed. You mean they didn't plan to give us the weapons 3 years ago, and now that we've found them, they're still going to play with us? Of course. Otherwise, why wouldn't they arrange for a proper person? Su Yan was too lazy to explain anything to him and said to Wu Yuandong, Big Brother Dong, the police can't find any evidence for this matter. Why don't we settle it ourselves? Wu Yuandong nodded. That's what I thought. The two of them looked at each other and smiled. Su Yan got up first and left the room, then went downstairs. The waitress had been waiting for Su Yan and Su Yan's movements. When she saw Su Yan come out alone, she was a little surprised. But soon, Su Yan's actions made her forget all her doubts. This 200,000 is for the clue fee. Originally, it was agreed that it was 100,000, but I didn't expect you to let us catch 2 bad guys. Su Yan smiled and took out the check from Mad Dog's pocket and handed it to the waitress. So I helped you apply for 200,000 for the clue fee, and it was approved. I'll give you the money first. If there's anything I need in the future, I'll ask you. I hope you'll cooperate with me. The waitress nodded vigorously. The 200,000 yuan was too easy to earn. She had to work in this tea house for 8 years to earn 200,000 yuan. But she could get such a high check just by providing a clue. It was really high risk, high reward. Your salary must be very high as Interpol, right? It's not that high. I'm just making a living. Su Yan didn't waste any more time. He walked out of the tea house, looked up at the window on the 2nd floor, and adjusted the car's position. 10 seconds later, The unconscious Mad Dog was thrown down from the second floor. Qin Yitian and Wu Yuandong jumped down from the second floor. Wu Yuandong quickly threw Mad Dog into the trunk of the car, then dragged Qin Yitian into the car. Su Yun stepped on the accelerator and went straight to the far end of the Shenjiang River. Qin Yitian looked around and saw that his surroundings were becoming less and less prosperous. He quickly understood the other party's intention. It's useless to kill me. You won't get any benefits from killing me. But there's no point in you living, Su Yun said. Why should we keep you alive? Do you want to cause trouble for us? Qin Yitian finally realized the seriousness of the matter. If he was useful and knew something, perhaps he wouldn't have died so early. You're not really going to do anything to me, right? Big Brother Wu, I know you won't kill the innocent. Everything was ordered by Big Brother Feng. It has nothing to do with me. I can't do anything, you know that. You were one of the people involved in the jewelry and gold robbery 3 years ago. Wu Yuandong said indifferently. It was because of Ji Feng's absurd plan and your obedience that 12 innocent lives were lost. Not only were these 12 lives lost, but they also involved 12 families and hundreds of people's lifelong sorrow. Because of your ridiculous decision. Qin Yitian, you have nothing to explain. Only death can atone for your sins. Qin Yitian was about to struggle when Wu Yuandong pressed his head against the car window. If you want to resist, you can try. Right now, I want to give you a quick death. If you want to resist, maybe I'll have to change my mind. Big Brother Wu, let me go. I beg you, let me go. It's all Ji Feng's fault. He instigated me. If you want to punish someone, you should punish him. Qin Yitian knew very well that he didn't have any chance of survival in front of 2 super experts. All he could do was beg. The car had already reached the remote upper reaches of the Shenjiang River. Su Yun found a place to park the car, and Wu Yuandong unceremoniously kicked Qin Yitian out of the car. Without giving Qin Yitian a chance to escape, Wu Yuandong broke Qin Yitian's left leg. The heart-wrenching pain caused Qin Yitian to scream uncontrollably. And this sound just happened to wake up the unconscious Mad Yellow Dog in the trunk. Su Yun opened the trunk, pulled out the Mad Yellow Dog and threw it on the ground. The Mad Dog's mind was in a mess. He shook his head hard to recall what had happened, but he had no idea why he had been brought to a place suitable for murder. Mad Dog, if I have any questions for you in a moment, I hope you can answer truthfully. Su Yun said indifferently. Our tempers aren't particularly good. If you don't answer honestly, you'll end up in an even worse state than him. Su Yun gestured for him to take a look at Qin Yitian. Qin Yitian's legs had been severely deformed, and he couldn't stand at all. But Wu Yuandong didn't seem to have any mercy. Without hesitation, he struck again, and with a crack, he dislocated both of Qin Yitian's arms. Qin Yitian kept begging for mercy, but Wu Yuandong didn't have any mercy at all. He viciously broke Qin Yitian's right leg again. If he wanted to pity this bastard, then who would pity those 12 innocent lives? Who would pity those 12 innocent families? The bastard in front of him deserved it. Wu Yuandong wanted to use the cruelest method to make him repent for his actions in the last moments of his life. Wu Yuandong. I swear if you kill me, you'll definitely regret it. Qin gasped for breath. Big Brother Feng won't let you off. You'll definitely die a more miserable death than me. I swear I'll definitely do it. Wu Yuandong laughed coldly as he picked up the crippled Qin Yitian and walked towards the river. Your swearing is useless now, but I can swear that you'll spend the last few minutes of your life in this ice-cold river. I know you have heroin on you, and after your body is found by the police, they'll think you've overdosed and drowned yourself in the river. Chapter 648. Mad Dog watched as Qin Tian's body was sent flying through the air in a beautiful arc before landing heavily into the waters of the Shen River. He knew exactly what they were trying to do. They wanted to make an example out of him. They wanted to tell him that if he didn't cooperate, he would end up just like Qin Tian. His limbs would be severed, and he would be thrown into the icy waters of the river, where he would be swallowed alive. Su Yun's smile was quite strange. Ever since Boss Du's time in the Shen River came to an end, the fishes of the Shen River haven't had a chance to eat human flesh in a long time. Are you ready, Yellow Feather? It's your turn. Is there anything else you want to say? I can fulfill your wish. I'll give you 1 minute to say your last words. I'll do anything you want me to do. I beg you, please don't hurt me. Mad Dog was on the verge of a mental breakdown. I swear, as long as it's something I know, I'll tell you everything I know. If you want firearms, I can take you to find them. All I ask is that you let me live. If I die, you won't be able to find any more arms. Wu Yuandong walked over to Mad Dog. Do you really think we care about the arms you swallowed up? What I want is the person who made Ji Feng plan the gold and jewelry robbery. I want an explanation for those 12 innocent lives. Do you understand? Yes. 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 Mad Dog said hurriedly. I understand everything you say. Big brother, I beg you, please let me go. I'll promise you anything. I won't go back on my word. I'll take you to the person you're looking for. Trust me, I wouldn't dare lie to you. From now on, I'm one of you. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Su Yin smiled. Excellent. I like people like you. A wise man submits to circumstances. Who is the real middleman? Where is he? Wu Yuandong didn't have time to beat around the bush with Mad Dog. Huang Xiong. Huang Xiong told me to do everything. Mad Dog said. He didn't show up at all. I was the one who did it, but he was the mastermind. 3 years ago, he swallowed Ji Feng's gold and jewels in exchange for the arms. I was just cannon fodder. For this matter, I hid in the Great Northwest for 3 whole years. This time, he was the one who arranged for me to trick Ji Feng again and swindle some money out of his pockets. Huang Xiong. The Huang family could be considered as the local tyrant of the older generation in Xinjiang. The 30-year-old Huang Xiong used the connections left behind by his ancestors to rise to power in a short period of time. He single-handedly controlled most of the arms trade in Huadong. However, he never showed his face directly. Everything was done in secret. Because he was also a well-known person on the National Police's wanted list. It was not easy for foreign arms dealers to do business in Huaxia, but with Huang Xiong as the middleman, it was much easier. Huang Xiong had kept his word as a middleman all these years. He had swallowed Ji Feng's goods because Ji Feng was too crooked. Even a ferocious dragon could not defeat a local snake. This was not a joke. Moreover, Huang Xiong had grasped Ji Feng's mentality. Ji Feng wanted this batch of arms because he wanted to usurp the position of the leader of the Three Lotus Society in Taiwan. Therefore, the leader of the Three Lotus Society definitely knew nothing about this matter. Even if Ji Feng's goods were swallowed, he would not dare to tell the leader of the Three Lotus Society. Huang Xiong had no need to worry about the threat of the Three Lotus Society in Taiwan. The Three Lotus Society had never caused any trouble in Huaxia. So Huang Xiong concluded that the leader of the Three Lotus Society was not someone who liked to cause trouble for himself. It was precisely because Huang Xiong understood the layers of relationships that he had boldly swallowed Ji Feng's goods. He wanted Ji Feng to suffer in silence, unable to speak of his suffering. Ji Feng had indeed swallowed the broken teeth into his stomach and endured everything by himself. However, although Ji Feng had endured it, he had not given up. This time, he had come knocking on Huang Xiong's door again, which meant that he had not given up. Huang Xiong was prepared to take advantage of Ji Feng's weakness that he hadn't given up yet. He wanted to trick him again and make him pay. In any case, he knew that Ji Feng wouldn't dare to tell the truth to the leader of the Three Lotus Association. This was what led to today's situation. Mad Dog was still the bait, and Ji Feng had almost been tricked yet again. However, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong's appearance had completely disrupted everything. Where is Huang Xiong? Take me to him. Wu Yuandong's attitude was very firm. He had to personally resolve this situation. Speak. Mad Dog's head shook like a rattledrum. I really don't know. He's never let us find him. If he wants to find me, he'll find me. I think you really do want to die. Wu Yuandong stepped forward and grabbed Mad Dog by the collar. Speak. I wouldn't dare lie to you. Mad Dog's face was filled with pain and pity. I really don't want to die. I really don't know. There's nothing I can do. Su Yin whistled. Big Brother Dong, if he doesn't know, then let's not make things difficult for him. Asking too many questions is pointless. Although Wu Yuandong was very reluctant, he still released Mad Dog. He didn't understand why Su Yin had stopped him. Little Yellow Feather. Su Yin smiled. Mad Dog looked at Su Yin with gratitude. Big brother, tell me, what other questions do you have? As long as I know the answer, I definitely won't lie to you. I swear, I really don't know where Huang Xiong is. If I know where Huang Xiong is and I don't tell you, I'll be run over and killed by a car as soon as I go home. I know you're not lying. Su Yin nodded, then said impatiently, You don't have to repeat yourself over and over again. But you don't know anything. You're of no value to us now. It's not that I don't want you to live. It's that you have no reason to live. Isn't that right? Mad Dog's entire body trembled. I'll tell you everything. Why won't you let me go? Think about it. Give yourself a reason to live. If you're still of value to us, we won't kill you. But if you're not, Su Yin dragged his voice. I think Big Brother Dong hasn't vented enough of his anger yet. You're just a live target. Mad Dog's lips trembled. I'm of value. I'm still of use. I know where the stolen firearms are. Su Yun's lips curled up slightly. This kid had a lot of ideas. It seemed that he would only be able to force out something of value if he was ruthless. I told you, I'm not interested in the firearms. Wu Yuandong said coldly. The firearms can't be exchanged for your life, but Huang Xiong's whereabouts can keep you alive. Big Brother Dong let him finish. Su Yin was still smiling. His confident eyes told Wu Yuandong that Mad Dog would soon give him a satisfactory answer. Sure enough, Mad Dog took a deep breath and finally mustered up his courage. I don't know where Huang Xiong is, but I know that Huang Xiong will check that place at a fixed time. Tomorrow at noon, Huang Xiong is going to check the batch of firearms. Wu Yuandong's eyes widened. This was the answer he wanted. Where and when could he see Huang Xiong? Congratulations. You're of use again. You have a chance to live. Su Yin clapped his hands. Now even if I ask you where the firearms are, you won't tell me. This is your last chance to save your life. Take us there tomorrow. As long as we see Huang Xiong, you'll be fine. Mad Dog had no other choice but to nod. He knew that he was about to spend the longest and most difficult night and morning of his life. Wu Yuandong tied up Mad Dog's limbs and stuffed his mouth with a rag. He threw him into the trunk of the car. I'm sorry you had to stay here for a night. There are still 14 hours to wait. What should we do? Wu Yuandong looked at his watch. It was only 10 at night. There was still a long time until noon. Rest well, of course. Su Yin smiled. Huang Xiong isn't someone to be trifled with. I've heard of him. People in the underground world call him the Butcher. The number of people who died because of him is 100 times more than the number of people he killed himself. Wu Yuandong's eyes swept over him. Huang Xiong is the Butcher? Yes. Su Yin nodded. When he was still in the Dragon Fury team, they had wanted to capture him, but they never had the chance. Wang Yi also didn't let them make a move easily. Huang Xiong's strength was at the level of a super expert, and he was ruthless and extremely dangerous. Who would have thought that the person they didn't have the chance to capture when they were in the Dragon Fury team was now in front of Su Yin? Su Yin naturally wouldn't let go of this opportunity. I really didn't expect. No wonder he dared to mess with Ji Feng. Even if Ji Feng brought people here, he probably wouldn't care. Wu Yuandong said, in Xinjiang he's a local snake. He really has nothing to fear. Let's go back to the hotel and have a good rest. Tomorrow's matter will naturally be solved. Don't think too much. Su Yin patted Wu Yuandong's shoulder. Relax. Wu Yuandong hesitated. Back to the hotel? You mean go to Xinkai? Of course. Su Yin. If not Xinkai, where else can we go? At least because of Qinwan the police won't go to Xinkai to investigate. If we go somewhere else, won't you be targeted by the police again? Wu Yuandong smiled and shook his head. It seems that Xinkai is the safest place. Su Yin nodded. After returning to the hotel, the two of them didn't talk about what happened today. Wan Qingshuang and the others were still very warm towards Wu Yuandong, which made Wu Yuandong feel a little embarrassed. They definitely expressed that they were at home. Because of Wu Yuandong's arrival, Wan Qingshuang didn't have time to ask Su Yun where he went the whole day yesterday. Of course, she also didn't have the chance to share a room with Su Yun at night. Because for safety reasons, Su Yun slept in the same room as Wu Yuandong. He only said that he had some things to discuss with Wu Yuandong, and that it would be more convenient to share a room. Wan Qingshuang didn't ask any more questions. In the dead of night, Wu Yuandong couldn't fall asleep. The things that had troubled him for so many years, he should put an end to them. He wanted to expose Ji Feng's conspiracy and let the president and Miss truly realize what kind of person Ji Feng was. He wanted Ji Feng to regret it. It wasn't that Wu Yuandong hadn't given Ji Feng a chance to turn over a new leaf. He had endured for the past 3 years because he hoped that Ji Feng would put away his ambitions and turn over a new leaf. However, Ji Feng's performance had truly disappointed him. He had already lost his confidence and patience with Ji Feng. "Brother Dong, you're thinking too much. You won't have enough energy tomorrow," Su Yun said lightly. "Only with enough sleep can you handle it with ease tomorrow." "Brother, thank you." Wu Yuandong only felt gratitude towards Su Yun. Su Yun helped him regardless of the danger and trouble. This feeling made him re-establish his trust in people. Back then, his trust was destroyed by Ji Feng. He didn't expect that he would be able to find this trust again one day. Chapter 649. The next day, before Wan Qingshuang and Guoguo woke up, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong left the hotel together. They didn't want Mad Dog, the only person who knew where the munitions were hidden, to starve to death. After finding a deserted place, they stopped the car and released Mad Dog, who had been tied up for more than 8 hours. Mad Dog was finally free, and he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Facing the sign that said no urinating or defecating, he took a big piss. Su Yun had been quite nice to him. Although he hadn't taken him to eat breakfast, he had at least given him a bottle of water. Mad Dog was so thirsty that he couldn't be bothered to be polite. He poured all the water in the bottle into his mouth, and because he drank so quickly, he choked on it several times. "Slow down. No one's going to steal it from you," Su Yun said. "Are you hungry? As long as everything goes smoothly today, you can eat and drink whatever you want after the lunch is over. So, when are you going to take us to the place where the munitions are hidden?" "Now's not the right time. We need to wait until there are more people," Mad Dog said. Wu Yuandong sneered. "Are you sure you're not messing with us when there are more people? If there are more people, we'll have a lot of trouble doing things. Mad Dog, I'm warning you. Don't try anything funny. I don't like to joke around. I could turn on you at any time. Trust me, big brother. I'm not joking. We really need to wait until there are more people. That way we won't attract attention," Mad Dog said. "That's why Huang Xiong wants to go at noon. We have to wait until 11 at the earliest. If there aren't enough people, it will be too obvious." Wu Yuandong didn't understand. What kind of twisted logic was this? If there were more people, they wouldn't be noticed, but if there were no people, they would be afraid of being seen? Su Yun thought for a moment, then chuckled. "You're really something. Don't tell me you've hidden the munitions in a wet market?" The Mad Dog's Adam's apple bobbed up and down as he swallowed. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Su Yun had actually guessed it. Just by looking at his expression, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong knew that the answer was correct. However, there weren't only 1 or 2 vegetable markets in Xinjiang. There were many of them, and each vegetable market was so big. Even if you knew which one it was difficult to find anything inside. Thus, they still needed Mad Dog's help. Mad Dog still had his value. Mad Dog understood this as well, and so there was no harm in admitting it. "Big bro, I really have to hand it to you. You're like a modern Zhuge. To be honest, I want to work for you. Can you take me in?" Flattery is meaningless to me. Su Yun was too lazy to pay attention to him. At 11 o'clock, they had to wait until the market was crowded. Although these few hours were very long, they finally got through it. Finally, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong, under Mad Dog's guidance, arrived at the dirtiest and messiest vegetable market in Xinjiang. This was the market with the worst environment in Xinjiang, but because of the cheap prices, there were still a lot of low-level residents who lived in the big city gathered here. Not everyone in Xinjiang could afford to drink a bottle of Lafite that cost 20,000 yuan. There were also a considerable number of people who would argue with the small vendors in the market over the small change of the price. Su Yun and Wu Yuandong walked in front of Mad Dog to prevent him from escaping. They walked into the noisy market, and after countless twists and turns, Mad Dog finally led them to a room where cabbages were stored. He turned over a pile of cabbages, and a secret door appeared. Mad Dog walked in and said, "We're here. This is it. The walls are all hollow, and there are munitions inside. Huang Xiong values this place a lot, so he comes here at least twice a week." Su Yun reached out and knocked on the wall. As expected, it was hollow. He suddenly exerted force and punched the wall, shattering several of the hollow bricks. The weapons inside really did stun Su Yun. They were quite advanced. Wu Yuandong pulled out a fully automatic assault rifle that was equipped with a grenade launcher and an infrared sight. He couldn't help but let out a sigh. There were so many weapons here, and they were all very advanced. No wonder Ji Feng had wanted to buy these weapons 3 years ago. "Huang Xiong will be here in half an hour. You can let me go now, right?" Mad Dog said. "I've done everything I could. I beg you to let me go. If Huang Xiong finds out that I sold him out, he'll kill me. I have to leave Xinjiang immediately." "You don't have to leave Xinjiang, and you don't have to be afraid," Wu Yuandong said, "because I'll kill Huang Xiong." Mad Dog was stunned for a moment, but his legs were still shaking. "Big brother, you have the strength, but I don't. I have to go now. Really, I beg you, let me go." Su Yun knew that Mad Dog was scared out of his wits, and he definitely wouldn't dare to contact Huang Xiong again. Naturally, he wasn't afraid that Mad Dog would betray them. He could let the police deal with this kind of small fry in the future. He couldn't be bothered. "Go. We're people who keep our promises. Go play wherever you want. Don't let me see you again." "Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, big brother. Thank you, big brother." Mad Dog bowed with his head full of yellow hair as he backed away. Suddenly, a sharp, angry voice rang out from behind Mad Dog. "No one is allowed to leave. We're the police. Put down your weapons." Su Yun's brows instantly furrowed. It was Qin Wan'er's voice. He didn't hear wrong. The person who appeared in front of Su Yun was indeed Qin Wan'er. She was holding a gun with both hands, and there were 7 or 8 policemen behind her, all of them nervously holding guns. "Put down your weapons." Qin Wan'er warned Wu Yuandong again. Wu Yuandong had no choice but to throw away the assault rifle in his hand. He looked at Su Yun blankly. Su Yun really wanted to kill himself now. Last night, he only thought that returning to Xinkai Hotel to rest was the safest, but he didn't expect that the safest place might be the most dangerous. Last night, Qin Wan'er called Ruan Qingshuang and asked Ruan Qingshuang to help her look after Su Yun. She didn't want Su Yun to run around. Qin Wan'er was afraid that Su Yun would get involved in their business. Ruan Qingshuang said, "Don't worry. Su Yun didn't run around. He's with his friend brother Dong Wu Yuandong." Because of this sentence, Qin Wan'er knew that Su Yun had gotten involved. She was afraid that Ruan Qingshuang would be worried, so she didn't say anything. Instead, she immediately took her people to wait at the entrance of Xinkai Hotel. After staying up all night, she followed Su Yun all the way to the vegetable market. Because there were too many people in the vegetable market and it was too noisy, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong didn't notice that someone was following them. "Su Yun, I really don't want you to get involved in this matter," Qin Wan'er said. "Now your friend has been accused. What else do you have to say? You have to know that you have also committed the crime of covering up." Su Yun sighed helplessly. "It's not what you think. I came here to prove Brother Dong's innocence. Give me half an hour, and I can prove it. Qin Wan'er, believe me. Take your people and leave now. Give me half an hour, and I will prove it to you. Maybe your people don't need to leave. Find a place to hide, and you will see the truth you want." Qin Wan'er shook her head helplessly. She was struggling and complicated in her heart. "I'm sorry, Su Yun. It's not that I don't believe you. And it's not that I don't give you a chance. It's you who didn't give me a reason to believe you. You didn't tell me what you did. I really can't help it. I don't know how to believe you. Brother, I've troubled you." Wu Yuandong looked at Su Yun with regret. Su Yun shook his head. This matter had nothing to do with Wu Yuandong. He only hoped that he could persuade Qinwan. I admit that I did something wrong. But you have to believe me, Qinwan. It's not that I don't want to tell you these things, but I know that once the police get involved, things will be more troublesome. I hope you know that Huaxia doesn't only have the right to enforce the law. You have been to Yanjing, and you know my identity. You should believe me. I have been to Yanjing, and I know your identity, but that's your previous identity, Qinwan said. And no matter what your identity is, you don't have the right to do whatever you want. Now that you are standing with the suspect, I have the right to doubt your judgment. Su Yin wanted to punch a hole in the wall. I have my way of doing things. Can't you understand me? There is not much time left. You have to do as I say. But I also have my way of doing things. I also have my principles. Qinwan said stubbornly. When have you ever stood in my position and thought about this problem? I am a police officer, and I am in charge of this case. I want to give an explanation to the 12 families who were harmed 3 years ago. Now that the suspect is here, you want me to leave. How can I do that? The real criminal is not here at all. Su Yun's patience was slowly wearing out. It was almost 11 o'clock. If Huang Xiong came at this time, everything would be troublesome. Su Yin could understand Qinwan. She had her principles. She was a police officer, and she was doing what she should do. She was not wrong. He was wrong. He should not have gone back to the hotel yesterday, or tried to persuade Qinwan in advance. Qinwan was not the only police officer present. Even if Su Yin persuaded Qinwan, how could he persuade the others? Su Yin, I am sorry. I really can't stand in your position and think about this problem. Qinwan said. I have to catch them. Only by catching them can I find other clues. I can believe you. I can believe that the real criminal is not here, but I have to take them away, including you. Su Yin could not do anything to Qinwan. But he could not be taken away by Qinwan. Huang Xiong was coming soon. This was the best chance for them to catch him. However, Qinwan, and the police were in the way at this moment, but it was not their fault. No one was at fault. I beg you to let me go. I don't know anything. I really don't know anything. The mad dog could not stand it anymore. There were only 10 minutes to 11 o'clock. Huang Xiong would be here soon. If Huang Xiong knew that he was the one who brought them here, he would be dead. The police officer behind Qinwan, kicked the mad dog to the ground and said, "Shut up." The scene was in a deadlock. No one was willing to back down. Qinwan was waiting for Su Yun and Wu Yuandong to give up resisting. She did not want things to be more troublesome than now. She did not want to catch Su Yun by herself. Chapter 650. But if things could go so smoothly, Qinwan wouldn't have such a headache. But the trouble that would give her a bigger headache had just begun. Stop. The police are handling a case. Unrelated people, stay away. The police officers who stayed at the door of the market gave a stern warning, but then there was a miserable scream. The miserable scream instantly made Qinwan, and all the police officers present nervous. They quickly aimed their guns at the back. Soon, they saw several figures walking into the market. The police officers who stayed at the door had been controlled by one of them. Their guns were nowhere to be seen, and their arms had been cruelly twisted. They were in an incredible folded state in front of everyone. Mad Dog's expression instantly became unprecedentedly nervous. Every inch of his body was full of horror and fear. He was not only scared but very, very scared. Su Yin was very aware of this problem. The biggest trouble had come. Huang Xiong's appearance would make the whole situation more chaotic. Qinwan, who was not in danger at all, was now in danger. Huang Xiong wasn't a small fry. It wasn't like he hadn't killed a police officer before. He wasn't nervous at all, nor was he afraid. He was on the wanted list, enough to be sentenced to death. He didn't care if he had 7 more people in his hands. 8 police officers were killed. In Huang Xiong's words, he was called a butcher. A butcher was a killer, wasn't he? If he didn't kill, how could he be a butcher? Tut tut tut. Fortunately, I came a few minutes earlier today. Otherwise, I would have missed a good show. Huang Xiong spoke. He stood in the middle of his men. Except for the man on his left, who was holding the police hostage with a pistol in his hand, all the others aimed their guns at the police officers present, including Su Yun and Wu Yuandong, 2 strangers. Mad Dog wanted to find a hole to hide in so that Huang Xiong couldn't see him. He was scared to death. No one cared about their own life. Mad Dog, don't hide. Huang Xiong's voice started to turn cold. Very few people know about this place, and the police wouldn't easily think that I would hide my things in a noisy market. If you didn't betray me, things wouldn't have turned out like this. So don't explain it to me. Mad Dog was so scared that his entire body was trembling. Brother Xiong, I didn't want to betray you. They forced me. It's these 2 guys who forced me. They killed Qin Yitian. If I don't do as they say, I will also die. I really had no choice. Huang Xiong was shocked by the news of Qin Yitian's death, but it was a fleeting thing. So what if you're dead? Do you think I care? Your worthless life is worthless to me. This is neither an excuse nor a reason. This arrogant attitude was really unbearable. After all, there were policemen here. Qin Wan'er shouted angrily. Put down the weapons in your hands. You are all involved in the arms trade. You can't get rid of the suspicion. We put down our weapons. Huang Xiong glanced at Qin Wan. Raised his head and laughed. Ha ha ha, officer, I think you don't understand the current situation, do you? Why should I put down my weapon? The person who wanted to mess with me was at the scene. The person who betrayed me was at the scene, and the police were also at the scene. I dropped my weapon? Ha 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 ha, don't forget, the police are still in my hands. When Huang Xiong's voice fell, his subordinate directly stabbed the pistol into the mouth of the police officer who was being held hostage. He shouted angrily at Qin Wan'er and all the other policemen. Put down the guns in your hands. Otherwise, I will kill him. I will only give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. He has been by my side for so many years. I know him very well. He is not a person who likes to joke. Huang Xiong didn't look nervous at all. 3, 2. Okay. We promise you. Qin Wan'er really didn't dare to take the risk. She immediately ordered, everyone put down your guns. Since the leader had spoken, the subordinates naturally cooperated. After all, the police felt that most criminals didn't want to provoke the police. Once they committed the crime of hurting the police, it was very serious. The police station would do their best to investigate and arrest them. Unfortunately, most of the people they were facing were not ordinary criminals. Kick them over. Kick all your guns over. Huang Xiong continued to order. The thing I like the most in my life is to order you damn policemen. This feeling is so cool. Ha ha ha. Kick them over. Hurry up. Don't make me talk more nonsense. Qin Wan'er took the lead and kicked her gun out. Although the consequences of losing her gun were very serious, she had to do it to protect the safety of her colleagues. The others could only follow. Hands on your head and squat down. Huang Xiong strode forward and ordered again. He controlled the situation in his hands. When all the policemen lost their ability to fight, Huang Xiong waved his hand to his subordinate, who was controlling the police officer. Bang! There was a muffled sound. The bullet exploded in the brain. Qin Wan'er was stunned. A colleague who was talking and laughing with them a few minutes ago, a newcomer who had just graduated from the police academy for more than half a year, suddenly left everything in this world. She only felt that she was a little dizzy. Suddenly, Qin Wan'er didn't know what to do. The mental breakdown was difficult to suppress. Officer, I don't want to kill him. I just want you to know that don't challenge me, don't provoke me, and don't think that I don't dare to do anything. Huang Xiong said as if nothing had happened. I killed him to tell you that there is nothing that I don't dare to do. So you'd better not challenge me. Be good and do what I ask you to do. The whole space was unusually quiet. Huang Xiong said proudly, cooperate. Understand? Qin Wan'er couldn't control her emotions anymore. She suddenly became furious and stood up. She said angrily, you are a devil. I must catch you myself. When Huang Xiong's subordinates aimed their guns at Qin Wan'er, Su Yun suddenly rushed over and pressed Qin Wan'er or to squat on the ground again. He whispered, "Calm down. Don't you think things are messy enough? Believe me, I will find a way to end all of this." Qin Wan'er was really in pain at this moment. She regretted it so much. She regretted that she should have listened to Su Yin and left. No matter what the case was, at least her colleague wouldn't have died so tragically and unjustly. Huang Xiong's eyes lit up. He was slightly surprised by Su Yun's speed just now. No wonder Qin Yitian died. It turns out that he met a master who was much stronger than him. "I killed Qin Yitian. It has nothing to do with him," Wu Yuandong suddenly said. There were police at the scene, and the relationship between Qin Wan'er and Su Yin was so special. He definitely couldn't let the police think that Su Yin had something to do with the murder case. At most, he wouldn't come to the mainland in the future. Moreover, he was the one who left Qin Yitian behind. Qin Wan'er looked at Su Yin in surprise. Su Yin shook his head and said to her, "It is hard for a person who has taken too many drugs to control himself. We only caught him, but he ran away now. As for the fact that we killed him, it was all made up by this yellow-haired bastard. He just wanted his boss to divert his attention so that he could live." Mad Dog was anxious when he heard this. It was not easy for him to get Huang Xiong's attention to focus on the others. Now that Su Yin said this, Huang Xiong's eyes fell on him again. "Brother Xiong, don't listen to his nonsense. They killed Qin Yitian. If I lie, I will die a horrible death. Whether you lie or not, you will die a horrible death," Huang Xiong replied viciously. "People who betray me will never be forgiven. You know this very well." The more Mad Dog's legs trembled, the more it showed his fear of Huang Xiong. "Now I don't want to negotiate with any of them. I just want to deal with you first." Huang Xiong looked at the wall that had been pierced through and said coldly, "You know very well how important these things are to me, but you still recklessly brought people to make trouble for me. Mad Dog, you must be tired of living. Don't worry. After you die, I will arrange for someone to take care of your girlfriend for you. I will also arrange for someone to meet all her needs. You know. Brother Xiong, I beg you to let me go. Give me a chance. I will make up for my crime by doing good deeds. Just forgive me for taking the blame for you 3 years ago. You took all of the gold and jewels, but Jifeng thought that it was me. I've spent the past 3 years living in fear and trepidation." Mad Dog fell to his knees, kowtowing repeatedly. "Even if I didn't do anything for you, I still did my best." Huang Xiong nodded. "You did a great deed, but you can't make up for it." Qin Wan'er suddenly looked up at Huang Xiong. 3 years ago, the jewelry and gold robbery in Xinjiang jewelry store was done by you?" Tut, 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 Mad Dog, look at you. It was you who couldn't give me a chance. You exposed me in front of the police. How can I keep you?" Huang Xiong said to Mad Dog and turned to look at Qin Wan. "Yes, you can say that I did it. Although I didn't do it, I planned it. The jewelry and gold finally fell into my pocket. Ha ha ha, officer, even if I admit it, you don't have any evidence because I didn't do it." Qin Wan'er said fiercely. "There is a witness who can accuse you." "You mean him?" Huang Xiong pointed to Mad Dog and smiled. "Officer, maybe he looks human now, but he will be a ghost in a few minutes. How can you let a ghost accuse me? A dead ghost can't talk. Do you understand? Officer, you are too young. How much does the Xinjiang police station look down on me? They even sent a little girl like you to investigate me. Officer, I have heard of you. You are the one who caught Black Widow Yifala." Qin Wan'er really had the urge to kill Huang Xiong now. Huang Xiong shook his head. "No matter how I look at it, I don't think you are a person who has the ability to catch Black Widow Yifala. You are so impulsive and easy to be controlled by me. How can you catch Yifala so easily? Oh, I understand. There must be someone secretly helping you." Chapter 651. Huang Xiong had a very strong sense of danger. He could tell who was the biggest threat to him among all the people present. Obviously, it had to be Su Yin. Even though this was the first time Huang Xiong had seen Su Yin, he could still tell that Su Yin was a great threat to him. "Actually, I'm the one you should kill," Wu Yuandong said. "I forced Mad Dog to bring me here. 3 years ago, I was the one who didn't agree with Ji Feng robbing the jewelry and gold. Now I'm the one who wants to kill you and stop Ji Feng from robbing you. Fine. Since you've given me so many reasons to kill you, I have no reason to refuse. Then I have no reason to refuse you. Huang Xiong sneered. But now is not the time to kill you. If I don't get rid of the biggest threat in my heart, I won't be in the mood to play with you. You do deserve to die, but I don't need to do it myself. I just need to send you to Ji Feng and tell him that you were the one who stole the firearms 3 years ago. He'll naturally help me do whatever I want to do. At the moment when Huang Xiong's attention was distracted, Mad Dog did something that no one expected. He suddenly stood up and pushed a squatting police officer towards Huang Xiong. While everyone was still in shock, Mad Dog acted out a real-life version of a desperate dog jumping over a wall. He actually climbed up the small window on the wall that was only big enough for one person to pass through and escaped. While Mad Dog was causing trouble, Suyin immediately pushed Qinwan to the corner of the wall, where there was some cover. Wu Yuandong didn't hesitate to grab a shotgun from the weapons hidden in the wall. With a bang, he pulled the trigger at Huang Xiong's subordinates. The chaotic situation caused everyone to run for cover. The police officers who had been under Mad Dog's control all looked for the weapons closest to them. Huang Xiong didn't do anything because of the chaos. Instead, at this critical moment, he chased after Mad Dog through the small window. Brother Dong, I'll leave this place to you. Suyin followed Huang Xiong's footsteps without hesitation and jumped out of the small window. This was his only chance to catch Huang Xiong, so he had to do it at all costs. With Wu Yuandong here to help Qinwan, Suyin believed that Wu Yuandong would not let Qinwan be in danger. Inside the secret warehouse where the cabbages were stored in the vegetable market, gunshots rang out everywhere. The police and Huang Xiong's men quickly formed a confrontation. Although Huang Xiong had left, his subordinates didn't seem to want to let Qinwan and the other policemen go. It seemed that they wanted to kill them all. Fortunately, this was the place where Huang Xiong stored his weapons. Wu Yuandong and the police did not lack weapons to fight against the other party. Soon, the warehouse became a world of bullets and bullets. Mad Dog had indeed gone mad. A person's potential was limitless. Now that the danger had stimulated Mad Dog's athletic abilities, his speed was almost enough for him to participate in a sports competition. The threat of life could always bring out people's potential. It seemed that if they wanted the Huaxia men's football team to win a game against other strong teams in Asia, they should have issued a death order. If they lost, they would be shot. Only in this way could the male protagonist of Huaxia ensure that he could win the next round with a draw. Always losing games was not a problem that could be solved by changing coaches. It was completely because they were not forced to do so. In the 2008 and 2012 Olympics, the country should have also issued this death order to the Socceroos. Maybe they would have won 3 consecutive championships instead of 2 consecutive defeats. Of course, if it was just simple running in a straight line, no matter how Mad Dog's potential was stimulated, he could only compete with the Socceroos at most. It was absolutely impossible for him to be the opponent of a supermaster like Huang Xiong. But Mad Dog was very smart. Maybe it was because he was wearing special shoes that he didn't take ordinary roads at all. Wherever it was narrow and difficult to walk, he would go there. In a situation where he had to run through a dog hole for every meter he ran, even if Usain Bolt came, he wouldn't be able to speed up at all. Suyin was also in hot pursuit. He followed behind Huang Xiong all the time. He was convinced that Mad Dog had chosen this escape route. If Mad Dog had not taken this route, he would have been killed by Huang Xiong in 2 minutes at most. After running out of such a difficult vegetable market, Mad Dog didn't even think about it. He dragged out the owner of a private car that had just stopped at the entrance of the vegetable market and directly took the car and fled. My car. Just as the owner of the private car was panicking, something terrifying happened. A figure jumped high and landed on the roof of his car with a bang, causing the roof to collapse. When Suyin chased out, he only saw Huang Xiong stepping on the roof of a private car. Mad Dog was still driving the private car crazily out. Suyin didn't have time to think. He just happened to pass by an old lady who had bought groceries and was pushing a tricycle out. "Auntie, let me borrow your car for a bit." Suyin didn't have a chance to explain. All he could do was grab the old lady's tricycle and pedal wildly as he chased after Mad Dog. Although the difference between 3 and 4 wheels was only 1 wheel, the difference in power was enormous. The old lady didn't even have time to react before her tricycle, along with all the eggs and vegetables in it, disappeared. However, the old lady was quite happy. She chuckled. Such a young fellow didn't call me Granny. But Auntie? Do I look that young? Haha. Youngsters these days really do have good taste. It was one thing to drive a car at a high speed, but driving a tricycle at a high speed wasn't easy. Huang Xiong, who had jumped onto the roof of the private car, suddenly punched out and shattered the car's sunroof. Startled, Mad Dog slammed on the brakes, causing Huang Xiong to fly backwards and slam heavily into the hood of the car. Huang Xiong naturally didn't give up. He grabbed the windshield wipers of the car. Of course, the braking didn't just cause Huang Xiong to be flung off the roof. It also caused Su Yin to be unable to stop in time and end up rear-ending Huang Xiong. He could only watch helplessly as the front wheels of the tricycle bent out of shape. Just as Mad Dog was about to slam down on the accelerator and flee, Su Yin noticed that there was an elastic belt wrapped around the handle of the tricycle, the kind that had a hook on both ends. Without even thinking about it, Su Yin tore off the elastic belt and threw the hook into the gap between the trunk and the rear window. Fortunately, this was a tricycle and not a hatchback. Otherwise, there really wouldn't be anywhere to hook it. Before Su Yin could even applaud his own ingenuity, the tricycle was suddenly propelled forward by a powerful burst of horsepower. Everyone on the road began to flee in panic from this crazy car, and the tricycle behind it. One of the people on the road was short-sighted. Stupidly, one of them pulled out his cell phone and took a picture and posted it on Weibo. Holy shit, I've learned something new today. A car is barreling through the streets at over 100 kilometers per hour, and a tricycle is in hot pursuit behind it. The front wheels are all bent out of shape, but it still shows no signs of giving up. Mad Dog's entire body was swallowed up by terror, because Huang Xiong was leaning against his windshield. Mad Dog hurriedly turned on the windshield wipers, then began to spray water at the windshield in an attempt to force Huang Xiong out of the car. Huang Xiong was infuriated by Mad Dog's actions as well. He snapped the windshield wipers in two, then raised his right fist and punched out, punching straight through the windshield. He grabbed the steering wheel in Mad Dog's hands, then swung it hard to the left. The speeding car was flung out of the way. Mad Dog had no choice but to slam on the brakes to ensure that the car wouldn't flip over, sending it crashing headlong into a nearby construction site. Huang Xiong had already jumped out of the car. Su Yin, however, was flung out of the way along with the tricycle. The force was simply too great. Even though Su Yin tried his best to steer the tricycle, one of its wheels still began to float into the air. Before losing control of the tricycle, Su Yin chose to jump out of the way. He rolled on the ground to get rid of the inertia, and although the tricycle was completely destroyed, he wasn't injured at all. Mad Dog's car drove into the construction site, then slammed hard into a load-bearing pillar. The front of the car was completely deformed, and all of the airbags inside the car popped out as well. By now he had no time to be frustrated. He kicked open the car door, then ran straight into the construction site. This was a very complicated place, which was very advantageous for Mad Dog. Huang Xiong, following closely behind him, pushed aside two construction workers who were about to step forward and ask questions, then chased after him relentlessly. Su Yin cursed in his mind. There was nothing he could do. He had to chase. No matter where Huang Xiong went, he would follow. If he lost him today, that cowardly son of a bitch might not show his face for another 3 years. Mad Dog continued to choose the most difficult and dangerous paths. This was a dangerous construction site filled with steel and concrete. They should have been treading on thin ice, but instead, Mad Dog and Huang Xiong were playing a crazy game of cat and mouse. Running, jumping, and dodging was definitely a test of a person's ability to adapt to any situation. Su Yin followed closely behind the two of them. He didn't expect that although Mad Dog wasn't an expert, he would be quite good at running for his life. His reflexes were almost like those of a monkey's. After a mad chase, Mad Dog finally reached the 10th floor of the construction site. He had nowhere else to go now. Huang Xiong let out a sigh of relief. He walked unhurriedly towards the roof, then said in a sinister voice, "Keep running. Keep running. Let's see if you have what it takes to escape from me. Phew, you two really do have some stamina." Suyun finally arrived as well. Huang Xiong, although I don't like this blondie either, I promised him that he'd be able to go back to eat lunch in one piece. So, you and I should take care of the rest of this, right? Huang Xiong snorted. That's what you promised him. I didn't. Of course, I'll deal with you properly, but not now. Right now, I'm going to deal with the traitors under my command. You have no right to interfere. Mad Dog knew that Huang Xiong wouldn't forgive him. He had already retreated to the edge of the building. He glanced down. It was so high up. If he fell, he would die. The only chance he had was to use all of his strength to jump onto the platform of a 6-story building that was several meters away from the construction site. Mad Dog swallowed. He had no other choice. Ah! Mad Dog let out a heart-rending howl, then suddenly leapt high into the air, aiming for the platform of the 6-story building. Even though he had managed to stay alive after landing, he had still broken his left foot. He was in so much pain that he could no longer struggle to his feet. As for Huang Xiong, after he had jumped out, he strode forward and leapt down as well. It was as though a ghost had suddenly descended upon Mad Dog. Fortunately, Suyun didn't have acrophobia. He knew that Mad Dog wouldn't be able to escape. If he tried to stop him, Mad Dog would definitely die, and he wouldn't be able to catch Huang Xiong either. But unexpectedly, just as Suyun was about to land on the roof, Huang Xiong's target suddenly changed to Suyun. He turned around and gave Suyun a heavy kick. Because Suyun was still in midair, there was no way he could control his body to dodge. All he could do was allow Huang Xiong's kick to send him tumbling down the 6th floor. Fuck. Chapter 652. Suyun's body fell rapidly. Even though his body was stronger than ordinary people, he was still falling from a height of 10 stories. Even if he didn't die, it was hard to say that he wouldn't be seriously injured. Fortunately, there was a car parked downstairs, and Suyun just happened to land on the roof of the car. The roof of a car more or less had a cushioning effect, and it was much better than the concrete floor. With a clang, Suyun's body smashed a hole in the roof of the car, and the car's alarm system quickly went off. Suyun's entire back was racked with intense pain. Fortunately, the pain came from his muscles, and didn't hurt his bones or internal organs. The sound of the car's alarm was particularly ear-piercing, but there was a construction site next to him, and the noise of construction quickly drowned out the sound of the alarm. Suyun propped himself up on the roof of the car with both hands, and used his breathing to adjust himself as quickly as possible, calming himself down as soon as possible. At this point, he had to find a way to get back upstairs. Even though his back was in pain from the fall, Suyun's first thought was that he couldn't let Huang Xiong out of his sight. But before Suyun could even come up with a solution, Mad Dog's body fell to the ground with a scream. The dull sound of his head hitting the ground was so unpleasant to the ear, and brain matter and blood splattered all over the ground. Mad Dog died in front of Suyun's eyes wide open. Suyun raised his head. Huang Xiong was standing on the roof of the 6th floor, smiling at him. When Suyun looked at him, he made a throat-slitting gesture, showing off his victory. You want to catch me? You're still a little too inexperienced. I'm not Yifala. I won't fall for a man. Huang Xiong looked down from above and sneered. If you have the time to catch me, why don't you go back to the market and help the police collect the corpses? Maybe the police station will even give you an excellent citizen certificate. The pain in Suyun's back made his anger disappear. Huang Xiong, unless you escape from this earth. Otherwise, I will capture you myself. Many police officers have said this to me before. They are all outstanding talents in the country, but now they are no longer in this world. But I am still living freely. Huang Xiong said. You are the first person other than the police to say this to me. I know you're better than those policemen. However, I still want to give you a piece of advice. Don't meddle in other people's business. Arresting me is the job of the police. Why do you have to find trouble with this? Ha ha ha, think it through, idiot. Suyun did not waste his breath on Huang Xiong. He really did need to go back to the market to see Qin Wan and the others. It was impossible to catch Huang Xiong today. Huang Xiong had already disappeared from his sight. Damn it! Su Yun smashed his fist heavily on the car that was still calling the police. When Su Yun returned to the market, the gunfight had already ended. With the help of Wu Yuandong, Huang Xiong's men were all killed and captured. The police also suffered heavy casualties. In addition to one person who was killed by Huang Xiong's men at the beginning, another person was shot in the forehead. There were also 3 people who were hit by bullets. They were all carried to the ambulance. The police had sent more people to control the scene. Qin Wen'er's mood was very low. When she saw Su Yun come back again, she could only throw herself into the arms of the only person who could give her a sense of security and vent the pain in her heart at that moment. Because Su Yun and Wu Yuandong had played a crucial role in this incident, Qin Wen'er and the other policemen at the scene no longer doubted their actions. They had the same goal as the police. Qin Wen'er knew Su Yun better. Su Yun did not want the police to get involved. He wanted to solve the problem by himself because he was afraid of such casualties. However, Qin Wen'er's stubbornness led to the things that should not have happened. Su Yun, why am I always like this? Why can't I do anything right? Qin Wen'er's cheeks were full of tears. I really didn't want things to turn out like this. But why? Why did things turn out like this? It's all because of me. Everything is because of my stubbornness. I should have listened to you at that time. I should have taken my men away. Then no one would have died. Su Yun held Qin Wen'er's shoulders tightly. You didn't do anything wrong. You have your identity. You are a police officer. From your standpoint, you did nothing wrong. If I had told you all this before, maybe today's things would not have happened. If you want to blame someone, blame me. This has nothing to do with you. How could Qin Wen'er listen to her? She knew that Su Yun was comforting her, but her self-blame was too deep. She couldn't help but blame herself. She couldn't help but feel sad for her colleagues who had died in the line of duty. Originally, she wanted to seek an explanation for the 12 families who had lost their families. Now there were 2 more families who would be sad for the rest of their lives because of this matter. As a police officer who put the interests of the people first, Qin Wen'er could not accept this result. She wished that she had to bear all these unlucky things. She did not want others to bear them. Su Yun and Wu Yuandong went back to the police station with Qin Wen'er. After they gave their statements, the police did not make things difficult for them. Originally, Su Yun and Wu Yuandong thought that Qin Wen'er had helped them out. They did not expect that the other police officers who were present were also involved in this. All of them believed that Su Yun and Wu Yuandong were righteous. They were definitely not evil. To be able to get this kind of support was a great recognition for Su Yun and Wu Yuandong. At least everything they did was not denied. Huang Xiong is a very vengeful person. We killed 4 of his men and successfully arrested the other 3. He must hate us to the core now. It was not the first time that an old police officer from the Shenzhen police station had dealt with Huang Xiong. He kindly reminded everyone, he will definitely not go far. He will definitely take revenge. Although this did not sound like good news, Su Yun had to admit that this was indeed good news for him, Wu Yuandong, and the Shenzhen police station. At least they did not need to wait for 3 years, or even longer to catch Huang Xiong. As long as he appears in front of me again, I will definitely tear him into pieces. For the first time, Qin Wen'er felt what it was like to hate someone to the core. Huang Xiong made her understand how strong the feeling of hatred was. Su Yun patted Qin Wen'er's shoulder. If Huang Xiong appears again, I hope that you can hide as far away as possible. Since he is so vengeful, you cannot participate in this matter. He will not hesitate to hurt anyone who participates in this matter. If possible, I hope that all the police officers involved in this matter can leave Xinjiang for a while under protection. Qin Wen'er and the others shook their heads firmly. None of us will leave. We are the police. Why should we be afraid of a criminal? Su Yun knew that it was useless to say more, but he would never let Qin Wen'er leave his sight. The revenge might come soon. He would never allow Huang Xiong to hurt Qin Wen'er. The police station did not detain Su Yun and Wu Yuandong. Their sacrifice for this matter made all the police officers very grateful and moved. Qin Wan'er finally did not work overtime in the police station. Instead, she returned to Xingkai Hotel with Su Yin and Wu Yuandong. Wan Qingshuang saw that Qin Wan'er was haggard at a glance. She felt sorry for her and made bird's nest porridge for her. Guoguo was very well behaved and kept making Qin Wan'er happy. Even a little girl like her could see that something big must have happened. However, Su Yin and Qin Wan'er did not mention anything about this matter. Guoguo was not familiar with Wu Yuandong, so it was not convenient for her to ask him. She could only strongly control her curiosity. At this stage, Su Yin could also see that Wu Yuandong was depressed about this matter. Qin Wan'er was taken care of by Wan Qingshuang, so he could rest assured. He took Wu Yuandong to the bar in the hotel to have a drink, so that Wu Yuandong could relax. When Wu Yuandong drank the whole bottle of whiskey like mineral water, Su Yin understood that he was unhappy and depressed at this moment. Brother Dong, don't think of it as so simple. This is definitely not because of you. Even if you could have followed Jifeng back then, Huang Xiong could have found a second person to cooperate with him to snatch the jewelry store. Su Yin, Huang Xiong's mistake is definitely not because of you. He is a person who does all kinds of evil. Wu Yuandong's smile was very helpless. I have been trying to convince myself like this, but I can't do it. If it wasn't for Jifeng's ambition, today's matter wouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have been too gay back then. I shouldn't have been so kind to Jifeng. I should have found a chance to get rid of him back then. Jifeng is not that easy to deal with. You know it very well. Su Yin, if you had taken the risk back then, you might not have had the chance now. Since it has already happened, there's nothing we can do about it. We can only find a way to make up for this mistake. Brother Dong, I promise you that after I solve Huang Xiong's problem, I will help you solve the threat of Jifeng to the Three Lotus Association. Brother, thank you. Wu Yuandong raised the bottle of wine. Let me drink first. Seeing Wu Yuandong gulp down the wine, Su Yin did not stop him. The numbing effect of alcohol on a super expert was not as strong as it was on an ordinary person. Since he had brought Wu Yuandong here to drink to relax, then he should let him drink to his heart's content. Su Yin accompanied Wu Yuandong as he picked up the bottle of wine. He did not use a cup and directly gulped down the wine. Drinking like this was still the best. Wu Yuandong told Su Yin a lot of things in his heart. He told him a lot of stories about the Three Lotus Association, and drank a lot of wine. 2 hours later, all his troubles seemed to have been washed away by the wine. After sleeping like this, he might be able to relax a lot when he woke up the next day. Su Yin's bad mood was also swept away by the wine. Previously, his mind was filled with the image of Huang Xiong cutting his throat. After taking a bath, this image completely disappeared. He should not think about unhappy things. Thinking too much would only make him upset. However, Su Yin swore that he would not let Huang Xiong escape from his hands a second time. As long as he dared to come again, he would definitely make him die an embarrassing death. Chapter 653. Seeing Su Yin come in, Qin Wan'er smiled faintly and said nothing. She went to the table and poured a cup of freshly brewed black coffee for Su Yin. The rich smell of the black coffee quickly filled the whole room. Qin Wan'er handed the coffee to Su Yin and said, "Sit anywhere you like. I don't know your taste, so I didn't put any sugar. If you don't like bitter coffee, the sugar is on the table. Add it yourself." Su Yin put the cup of rich coffee aside. "You are drinking this. It seems that you don't want to sleep, right?" "I really can't sleep, so I made some." Qin Wan'er didn't put any sugar, but she enjoyed the tempting smell of the bitter coffee. She was like a smoker who could find the mellow smell in the choking and pungent smoke. Su Yin knew that Qin Wan'er must feel uncomfortable because she couldn't sleep and had to drink coffee. "Don't think so much. Since it has happened, there is no way to go back in time. I hope you can really understand that this is not your fault. Huang Xiong is the one who should be punished. If you don't take care of your body now, you may not even have the chance to take revenge when the real murderer suddenly comes. The real murderer will escape again." Qin Wan'er finally put down the coffee cup in her hand. "Do you really think that you can't blame me for this? But I have said this 100 times in my heart, but I still can't believe that I can escape from this situation. How can I escape? Why didn't I get the punishment for my mistake? Why did other people have to bear it? No one has to bear any punishment. It is the police's duty to solve cases. It is inevitable that there will be accidents. Soo-yeon said, back at the police station, didn't the chief say that it was an accident? The police station will treat it as a work-related injury and reward them for their merits. They will be given sufficient funeral expenses, and their widows will be taken care of. There's really no need for you to blame yourself. They died in the line of duty. It's definitely not because of you. This has nothing to do with you. You don't owe anyone anything. I know everything, but I just can't let it go. Chin Won-er shook her head helplessly. I have thought about what you said and I know it makes sense. But I just can't let it go. Soo-yeon could only give Chin Won-er a hug to calm her down. That was what Chin Won-er needed right now. She needed someone to pour out her heart and vent her emotions. And this person had to be someone she could trust, someone with broad shoulders that she could lean on. Aside from Chin Won-er's father, there was only one other person like that, Soo-yeon. I promise you, I won't let Hwang Seong off, Soo-yeon said. But you have to promise me that you'll adjust yourself as soon as possible and recover your energy. There were casualties in this conflict, but the people around Hwang Seong were completely wiped out. I believe that Hwang Seong wouldn't only have these few people by his side. He might take revenge at any time. You must take good care of yourself. Chin Won-er nodded. I will be careful. You have to be careful too. You were the one who chased after Hwang Seong today, so he should have a deep impression of you. Therefore, it is very likely that he will hurt you. I'm usually in the police station, so I should be safer than you. At least, Hwang Seong wouldn't dare to mess around in the police station. Soo-yeon shook his head. Don't underestimate Hwang Seong's revenge mentality. Do you know what the people in the underground world call him? What? Chin Won-er was shocked. Butcher, Soo-yeon said bluntly. The number of policemen who died in his hands is not a small number. We've wanted him for so many years, but we haven't been able to catch him. Obviously, he's more cunning than we thought. Maybe he can really sneak into the police station to take revenge. Chin Won-er smiled faintly. Don't be an alarmist. I'm worried about you the most. If Hwang Seong isn't stupid, he won't casually come looking for trouble with me. Soo-yeon said. Everyone in the underground world knows that he's ruthless. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't know my details and strength, he would have killed me. How could he have let me go? Today he caused me to fall 10 floors. He had a chance to kill me, but he was very careful and didn't do it. Obviously, Hwang Seong is more cowardly than we thought. Maybe the reason why he could live freely until today is all because of his cowardice and cautiousness. Chin Won-er frowned. Because he's cowardly, he didn't dare to act rashly? Soo-yeon nodded. He knows very well that Chin Etienne's death must have something to do with me and Wu Yuandong. No matter how bad Chin Etienne is, he's still a member of the Three Lotus Gang. He dared to touch the Scarlet Gold Hall's hallmaster, Ji Feng, because he knew what Ji Feng was thinking. He just wanted to extort some money and weapons from him. He didn't dare to kill his people. Now that he thinks Chin Etienne is dead, I even touched the Three Lotus Gang's people. Even if he doesn't care about me, the Three Lotus Gang won't let me go. Then is Chin Etienne your? Chin Won-er was still very confused. Didn't the police retrieve his body from the lower reaches of the Shun River? Didn't the autopsy say that he lost his mind because he took too many drugs and fell into the river? Soo-yeon said. Also, he really did have a lot of heroin on him, didn't he? Chin Won-er smiled. It seems that this matter really has something to do with you. No one said that he had heroin on him. How did you know? That's right. No one in the police told me that he had heroin on him. But I'm telling you I know. So, I did meet him before he fell into the river. Soo-yeon also smiled. For a guy who helped Ji Feng plan and execute the jewelry and gold robbery and killed 12 people, the death penalty isn't too much. It's just that you didn't execute it. Won-er, I'm saying this because I hope you can understand Wu Yuandong. He also blames himself. He blames himself for not persuading Ji Feng back then. He hopes that he can take care of everything himself. Chin Won-er frowned. But he really doesn't have the right. Although I understand him, I still hope that he won't be involved in this matter in the future. Su-yin shook his head. That's impossible. Brother Dong not only has to be involved in this matter, but he can also do many things that you can't do. Qin Wan, you have to know that the real culprit is Ji Feng. He's too gay, and he's the most popular person beside the president of the Three Lotus Society. You can't touch him. I can't touch him, but we can contact the police and ask for their help. Qin Wan was very serious when she said this, but it didn't mean that she was naive. Because she hadn't been to the gay area, she didn't know that some things in society were different. Su-yin signaled Qin Wan to calm down. I know that your idea is good, but it won't work. You expect the police to catch the number one person in front of the president of the Three Lotus Society? How is that possible? Haha, you have to know that the president of the Three Lotus Society is someone that even the government and those arrogant senators don't dare to touch. Do you expect the police to help you? Why? Qin Wan said, the police's duty is to catch bad guys. Since Ji Feng is a suspect, it doesn't matter if he's the president of the Three Lotus Society or not. Even if he's the president of the Three Lotus Society, we still have to catch him. That's the problem. The police don't dare to do this. The police in our mainland can't do it. Su-yin. So this matter can only be handed over to Wu Yuandong. He's the one who should end all of this. He's been hiding for 3 years for the jewelry and gold robbery 3 years ago, just to wait for Huang Xiong, the real middleman, to appear again. Although he doesn't have the right to do this, he's not doing this to harm anyone. He's helping the police. Why can't he do it? Qin Wan was silent. After a while she nodded. I promise you that I will help you and cooperate with you. I know what I should say and what I shouldn't say. Our cooperation will be flawless. Su-yin smiled. Now you can sleep peacefully. This matter will be solved. I'm right? Yes, if only I understood it earlier. Qin Wan smiled bitterly. Today's incident wouldn't have happened. Su-yin drank the whole cup of rich black coffee. If it wasn't for today's incident, you wouldn't have understood everything I told you. Some things are destined, and we don't have the ability to change them. It's good that you understand now. Good night. Good night. Qin Wan's smile was much more relaxed than before. It was good that she could put down the burden in her heart. Su-yin got up and left Qin Wan's room. He really hoped that Qin Wan could let go of everything. After returning to his room, Su-yin stood by the bed and looked at the neon lights on the streets of Shenzhen. He didn't know if Lin Gu had found Gu Zueran. After going through so much, Su-yin understood one thing. Even if it was destined, there would be variables. No matter how sure he was that he could catch Huang Xiong, he still made a mistake. No matter how much Wu Yuandong wanted to protect the police, there were still 2 people who lost their lives. It wasn't that they didn't try their best, but they couldn't predict what kind of situation Gu Zueran would take things to. And the things that Gu Zueran miscalculated back then were also things that he couldn't predict. Yinlong's sacrifice in the mission was not destined by his fate, but a decision and change he made at the last moment for all the members of the Dragon's Fury Special Combat Team and himself. He changed his own fate, using his own life in exchange for the final change of everyone's fate. Gu Zueran wasn't wrong. The one who was wrong was Su-yin. Su-yin sighed deeply. He really hoped that Gu Zueran would give him a chance. Lin Gu went to find Gu Zueran. Gu Zueran must know the reason. As long as he didn't want to see Su-yin again, Lin Gu definitely wouldn't be able to find him. At this moment, Lin Gu was also very helpless. He had gone to all the places he needed to go. It seemed that Gu Zueran had left Xinjiang. Otherwise, with his sincerity, Gu Zueran would have been able to sense it. If Gu Zueran had really left Xinjiang, then it would be troublesome. Chapter 654. All the troubles seemed to disappear with the arrival of the new year. Everything was so beautiful. In the first 3 days of the New Year's Eve, everyone was busy preparing for the new year. They were buying New Year's goods and new clothes. Guogua and Bufifan lived in surprise almost every day because they were loved by so many people. They were dazzled by all kinds of New Year's gifts. However, with the arrival of New Year's Eve, those who had families had to reunite with their families. Chang and the three tigers of Nanching said goodbye one after another. It was not that they did not want to stay and spend the new year with Su Yin and the others, but that was the tradition of Huaxia for thousands of years. Reuniting with family was the only way to celebrate the new year. Even a rebellious guy like Dan Jiahao knew very well that he should be with his parents on this day. Qin Wan'er did not stay either. Originally, she wanted her parents to come to Shenzhen to spend the New Year's Eve with her family here, but her parents did not agree. The long-term work in a different place made the three of them spend very little time together. And the time they spent together in their hometown was even less. They had to go back to their hometown together on the most important traditional festival of Huaxia, because their relatives were there. When everyone who was supposed to be with their families left, Guogua, who had been excited for many days, finally calmed down a lot. She understood everyone who left. If she also had family, she would also want to spend the New Year's Eve with them. However, everything was not the same as before, but Guogua also knew very well that she was not without family. Su Yun, Ruan Qingshuang, Chou Yun Bufifan. They were her family now. Su Yun originally expected Zhuo Meiyan and Zhuo Yeming to come to Xinjiang to spend the New Year's Eve with them, but they did not come. They chose a more relaxing New Year's Eve to return to their hometown and offer a toast to the graves of all their family members who had died in the disaster. They told their family members that although many years had passed and their lives had changed dramatically, they definitely did not forget all their family members. Everyone who stayed told themselves not to point out the deepest pain in everyone's heart. The feeling of not having a family was definitely a kind of sadness that people who lived in happy families could not understand. Therefore, no one wanted to break the pain that everyone buried deep in their hearts and didn't want to show. But in the end, on the afternoon of New Year's Eve, Guogua asked Ruan Qingshuang a question that no one dared to ask. "Mother, have you really never thought of going home to take a look?" Among the few of them, the only one who had a family to reunite with was Ruan Qingshuang. However, Ruan Qingshuang hadn't been home for a long time. She didn't know what it was like to have a reunion with her family on New Year's Eve. It wasn't that she didn't want to, but she didn't dare to. Today, Guogua suddenly revealed the longing that had been buried deep in her heart. Ruan Qingshuang was silent for a long time. Then she said honestly to Guogua, "Yes." "Then have you ever thought of going back to take a look?" After all, Guogua was a child. She was naive and couldn't understand the pain of being Ruan Qingshuang. She missed her parents and family, but she couldn't forgive them for forcing her to marry for the betrothal gift. From the day she ran away from the marriage, she was clear about the consequences of her actions. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head. "I can't go back. The day I left my hometown, I had completely broken with my family. Now you are my family. I hope to be with you." A child of Guogua's age couldn't understand the pain in the heart of a person who said these words. But Chou Yun knew very well how much Ruan Qingshuang wanted to go home to take a look. Because if she still remembered where her hometown was and what her parents looked like, she would definitely want to go and take a look. Even if they sold her to money and evil, she would still have the urge to reunite with them. Unfortunately, she was too young at that time. She couldn't remember where her hometown was, and she couldn't remember what her parents looked like. Bufifan was also silent. He didn't want other people's emotions to break the urge in his heart. For many years, he spent the spring festival with Yi Fala. Yi Fala always had a way to make him forget those unpleasant memories. Now that Yi Fala wasn't by his side, who could understand the bitterness that he buried in his heart? "Sister Shuang, actually we all support you to go home and take a look." Su Yun's bold action shocked everyone. Although other people also had the same idea, no one dared to say it out loud. However, Su Yun said casually, "Really? Because if any of us fantasized that if our parents were still around and could still find them, we would also go and take a look." Silence made the air quiet. Ruan Qingshuang finally gathered the courage to raise her head. At this time, her eyes were already hazy with tears. "I really don't know what I should do." Chou Yun rarely said such comforting words. "Sister Shuang, just do what you think. We are your family now. No matter what decision you make, we will support you." "Mom, I support you too," Guogua said seriously. Bufifan finally said, "Aunt Shuang, we all support you. You don't have to be so conflicted and suppress the deepest feelings in your heart." We believe that you will make the right choice. No one would have thought that the secluded and backward village in Ruanqingshuang's hometown was only 300 kilometers away from the bustling metropolis of Xinjiang. After about 2.5 hours, Su Yun drove them to the village that even the streetlights had been installed less than half a year ago. Instead of calling it a village, it was more appropriate to call it a mountain village. The difference between this place and Xinjiang was like the difference between North Korea and the United States. Although it was a mountain village, it didn't feel like a painting at all. This was because there were only mountains and villages. A landscape painting without water couldn't be considered a landscape painting, and a mountain without water could never become a paradise that people in the city yearned for. Therefore, this mountain village that wasn't far from the bustling metropolis had always existed in such a backward manner. Although it was New Year's Eve, there weren't any fireworks in this mountain village. There were only sparse sounds of firecrackers occasionally. No one knew which rich child had the right to enjoy the treatment of setting off firecrackers during New Year's Eve. Perhaps the people who lived in this place, even if it was New Year's Eve, really couldn't bear to light firecrackers that cost dozens of yuan. Fireworks that cost hundreds of yuan were also a luxury that couldn't be bought. The dim street lights and the occasional dog barking were Guogua's first impression of this mountain village. There's actually such a place in our country. Guogua, who had been living in a honeypot since she was a child, could never have imagined such a place. Before this, she thought that Hudong was considered a relatively backward place in the country. She did not know that with the development of tourism, Hudong had become one of the top 100 counties in the country. It was considered rich compared to most places. This kind of place was truly backward and barren. While Guogua was marveling at this place's backwardness, Ruanqingshuang actually said in surprise, "There are street lights. It seems that the village has developed well these few years. Wow, the asphalt road. The secretary has really brought benefits to the village. The changes are so big." After hearing this, Guogua found it even harder to imagine what kind of environment Ruanqingshuang lived in when she was young. "Mom, you definitely did the right thing by running away." Guogua shook her head helplessly. "Which one is your home? I haven't been back for a long time. The changes are so big that I'm a little lost." Ruanqingshuang saw the progress of the village and felt an indescribable, inexplicable joy in her heart. She said to Su Yun, "Drive along the road slowly. I should be able to recognize it." In this county where 5-wheeled agricultural vehicles were surrounded, the appearance of a Porsche Cayenne undoubtedly shocked the young people and children in the village. The sound of the car's engine was like a beautiful melody that attracted the villagers. There were more and more onlookers on the side of the road. Obviously, they didn't know what a Porsche was or what a Cayenne was. They only knew that this was the most beautiful car they had ever seen in their lives. It could be described as incomparable. Guogua shrugged her shoulders at Bufifan and said helplessly, "Do you feel like you're a star? So many fans are watching." "They're watching the car." Bufifan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "The gap between the rich and the poor is really terrible. I really hope that one day, Huaxia can bridge this insurmountable gap. It's not that these people don't have the ability to be rich. It's just that they don't have the opportunity. Actually, they get it at the same time." Guogua actually said something amazing from the perspective of a wise person. They don't have the opportunity to be rich and have money, but they can breathe the freshest air, see the bluest and most beautiful sky, and drink the natural underground well water without bleach. Yes, God was fair. The people in the big city got money, material things, and all kinds of enjoyment. However, the most precious things for people, air, sunlight, and water, were becoming more and more unacceptable. Although the people in the remote mountain villages didn't have money, material things, or so many fancy luxuries, they enjoyed the air, water, and blue sky that the rich people in the city couldn't buy no matter how much money they spent. Ruanqingshuang had changed so much after leaving the village that the villagers didn't even dare to recognize her. But no matter what, Ruanqingshuang was the most beautiful girl in the surrounding villages, so she would always be recognized. Finally, someone in the crowd exclaimed, "Isn't this the daughter of old Ruan?" This exclamation caused an uproar in the crowd. Everyone was talking about it. Some said that old Ruan was lucky to have raised a good daughter. Now that she was in the car, he was going to take them to enjoy life. Others said that old Ruan must be regretting it. Back then, he drove his daughter away because of the betrothal gift. Now that his daughter had made a name for herself, she came back to humiliate him. But no matter what others said, Ruan Qingshuang remained silent. She continued to signal Su Yin to move forward. Helpless, the onlookers were about to surround the car. Su Yin was moving at the speed of an ant. There was really no other way. Su Yin could only put the car into neutral and step on the accelerator. The loud roar of the engine completely frightened the ignorant villagers. Everyone quickly ran away, afraid that the angry car would eat them up. There were even children who innocently shouted, "This is a transformer, an Autobot." Fortunately, this opened a path for Su Yin and the others to move forward. They continued to move forward, continuing to look for Ruan Qingshuang's unfamiliar home. But fortunately, Ruan Qingshuang's house was on the side of the road. Hard work paid off. When the car drove to the center of the village, Ruan Qingshuang finally exclaimed, "We're here." Chapter 655. Even when the Guogua family was in trouble, after Chou Yun brought her away from Suang, Guogua had never lived in such a brick house. Therefore, this was a huge shock to her. She could only sigh. This house is really special. I can't believe that there are still people living in such a house. So this is where my mother grew up. Bufifan was quite open-minded. Some people can't even live in such a house. When I was young, I lived in train stations and under bridges. At that time, I even dreamed of having a house that could shelter me from the wind and rain. Even if it was made of mud and grass, it would be fine. Guogua cracked a smile. This was the truth. She had to admit that she was lucky enough. At least after she was born, she had always had a luxury car and a villa to live in. Compared to the thousands of children in Huaxia, she was definitely an angel in the sky. Hearing the noise outside the door, Ruan Qingshuang's parents put down their bowls and chopsticks and walked out of the house. After all, there had never been such a lively scene in front of their house. In their village, even the party secretary's son's wedding did not have such a big scene. Almost everyone surrounded the road outside Ruan Qingshuang's house. When Ruan Qingshuang's parents walked out, they were really shocked. However, they quickly realized that these people were definitely not here to see them for the new year. It was because their only daughter had passed away many years ago. In the past, there would still be matchmakers coming to see them, but that was many years ago. Now their house was famous for being poor. No one would come to ask about it. But now, such a luxurious car was parked in front of their house. They were really at a loss. They only remembered that when the party secretary's son got married, he borrowed a black car called Santana. It was definitely a big scene. Now even a fool could tell that the luxurious car in front of them was much better than the Santana. Although the car stopped, Ruan Qingshuang did not open the door and get out of the car. Even though she was already at the door, even though her parents were in front of her, her heart was still in a mess. She was struggling, resisting what was about to happen. She did not know how her parents would treat her after she got out of the car. "Are you ready? Things may not be as bad as you think." Su Yin smiled. "I believe that as long as you are human, parents in the world will feel the same after seeing their own flesh and blood. Perhaps their longing for you is no less than your longing for them." Ruan Qingshuang nodded. She was the first to open the door and get out of the car. The clothes that Ruan Qingshuang was wearing were the New Year's gift from Gua from Versace. The classic Dior heels on her feet was a New Year's gift from Su Yun. And the small bag on her shoulder was limited edition LVs. These were not the most expensive things she had on her. The custom-made scarf that was a new Zegna scarf around the neck. S was news, S the was where's was? Was this year's was the new was? S was the new was? Everyone in the village looked at this city girl, as if they were looking at a Western mirror. They could not believe that this was the Ruan Qingshuang who had run away from home years ago. Then Su Yin and Cho Yun also got out of the car. Guogua and Bufifan followed closely behind. Everyone who got out of the car was dressed like a movie star. Everyone's clothes were New Year's gifts that they had given to each other. The total value of these clothes was more than enough to buy everything in the village. The scene was very quiet. No villagers dared to bluff in front of these rich people. They all looked at them carefully, as if they were afraid that their breathing would disturb these rich people. "Dad, Mom." Wan Qingshuang mustered up her courage and said, "Your daughter is unfilial." Tears instantly flowed down Lao Ruan's face. Since his daughter ran away from home, he had been sulking for 3 whole days. Then he fell into deep self-blame. Annoyance and regret engulfed him every day. When Mrs. Ruan heard her daughter's call, she completely collapsed. She felt that all this was a dream. "Grandpa, Grandma, my mother has come back to see you. Don't be sad. Be happy." Guogua was not shy at all. She generously pulled Ruan Qingshuang forward and said, "Let's go. Let's go home and talk. There are so many people watching. I'm embarrassed." "Grandpa and Grandma. This little girl." Lao Ruan and his wife were shocked again. "Dad, hurry up." Guogua turned back and said to Su Yun. Su Yun helplessly shrugged his shoulders. This little girl would not give up until the misunderstanding was blown out of proportion. Su Yun could only walk forward with a bitter smile. He smiled and nodded at Lao Ruan and his wife's questioning eyes and greeted them. The villagers could not hold it in anymore, and began to talk. "Have you seen enough? If you have, then go back." Cho Yan's piercingly cold gaze swept through everyone present, and everyone present was shocked speechless. It turned out that the women in the city were not only beautiful and stunning, but their auras were also so strong that it made people feel terrified. Bufifan said to a few young people and children who had been looking for a chance to touch the Portiakians, "But you'd better not touch it. You can't afford to pay for it if you scratch it." "Okay, let's go home." Ruan Qingshuang finally found the feeling of being the owner, and asked everyone to go home with her. She did not want to be the focus of the villagers' discussion and speculation, nor did she want to be in the limelight in front of the villagers. Su Yin motioned for Guogua and Cho Yun to go in first. Then he asked Bufifan to carry the cigarettes, wine, sweets, tea, and other New Year goods in the trunk with him. Of course, when Su Yin saw so many children drooling, he specially took out a bag of sweets and snacks from the dozens of New Year goods he bought, and distributed them to the children. In the eyes of this group of mountain village children, Su Yun's position was instantly higher than the Jade Emperor's. When they got home, Lao Ruan and his wife began to look for cups to make tea. However, they only found 4 cups in the whole house. They even took out a glass bottle that they usually used to store pickled vegetables to make up the number. It could be said that this family was really poor to a certain extent. On the 18-inch black and white TV, the New Year of the Horses Spring Festival Gala was vaguely reflected. When the magician performed the magic of drawing bread, there was no mistake at all on the TV that was filled with snow. The 4 legs of the table were nailed with wood to ensure that the table would not collapse. A plate of dumplings, a cup of loose white wine, 2½ steamed buns, and a large pot of pork belly stewed with cabbage and vermicelli were the highest treatment that this family could enjoy during the New Year. The observant Su Yun even found that one of Nanny Ruan's pair of chopsticks was replaced by a tree branch. Su Yun took a deep breath and suppressed a burst of sadness. He looked at Ruan Qingshuang and saw that Ruan Qingshuang's eyes were already shining with tears. Perhaps the village had asphalt roads and street lights, which was an earth-shattering change for her. But her home was obviously more barren than before. When Ruan Qingshuang was at home, she could still help the family do some things. The medicinal cuisine that she liked to make was also the reason that the only restaurant in the village asked her to help out. More or less, when Ruan Qingshuang was still alive, this family had not fallen to the point where it was today. Now they were working closely with the old couple. They were already thankful that they could buy 10 yuan worth of pork belly during the New Year without having to buy it on credit. Sadness fiercely swallowed Ruan Qingshuang's heart. At this moment, she even began to regret what she had done. If she had held back and really married that rash person that she hated, perhaps the betrothal gifts from her in-laws could have really changed the situation of her parents. At least if she had stayed here, the family would not have been as poor as it was now. After Guogua entered the house, she did not say a word because she could not believe that there were people in Huaxia who were so poor. However, now she believed that perhaps there were many families in Huaxia who were even poorer than this family, who could not even afford to eat a little oil during the new year. Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Wan Qingshuang could not help it anymore. She burst into tears and threw herself into her mother's arms. Even if a person grew up and matured, in the face of her mother's arms, she was still a child. At this moment, Wan Qingshuang forgot all the things that her family had forced her to do. She was only left with a deep sense of self-blame. Mother Ruan held her daughter, tears streaming down her face. She knew that she and her husband had done many things to their daughter, but they were also forced. If they had not married their daughter, they would not have had the money to find a wife for their son. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Qingshuang, it's all our fault. It's better that you're back. The mother and daughter resolved everything. Wan Qingshuang talked to her family about her outside life and introduced Su Yun and the others to her family. It showed that Su Yun and the others had taken care of her. It could be said that without Su Yun, she would not be who she was today. The Ruan couple also found Su Yun, their son-in-law, more and more pleasing to the eye. Soon, Wan Qingshuang realized a problem. Where's my brother? The Ruan couple fell into silence. Su Yun opened a pack of cigarettes at the right time, handed one to old Ruan, and lit it for him. Then he put the whole pack of cigarettes on the table. However, old Ruan, who had never smoked such expensive cigarettes in his life, was not in the mood to savor the taste of the cigarettes. Your brother left 2 months after you left. He said that the mine was recruiting workers and the salary was high. He went to earn money for his wife. In the first year he came back once. Now he hasn't been back for a long time. We can't get in touch with him. That's too unfilial. Did he forget his parents when he went out? Guogua said unhappily. Mother Ruan wiped her tears and said, I really hope that he forgot about us, and that something didn't happen to him. At this moment, the greatness of her parents was fully reflected in this rural old woman. She would rather have her son forget about them and let them grow old alone than have something happen to her son. In the world other than parents, who else could be so great? Although it was the spring festival and their daughter had returned home, the family still seemed to be shrouded in sadness. This was something that could not be changed. Su Yun could only try his best to persuade them. Parents, don't worry. The mines now have strict safety regulations. It will be fine. Tell me where the mines are, and I will help you ask around. It will be fine. Of course, old Ruan's parents were excited and happy. They told Su Yun everything they knew. Chapter 656. The haze of the Ruan family's reunion slowly dissipated. Su Yun took out the things they bought one by one for Bufifan. Bufifan poured away the scattered white wine in Mr. Ruan's glass and poured him a proper Feitian Maotai. This was the first time in Mr. Ruan's life that he had drunk Maotai. The best wine he had ever drunk before was the bottle of Daku and Urku when his son got married in the village. Bufifan also poured a glass of French red wine for Mrs. Ruan. He said that drinking red wine could beautify a woman's complexion and help her recuperate. Mrs. Ruan didn't know that the price of this bottle of red wine was far more than their living expenses for a whole year. She just smiled and enjoyed the joy of a family reunion. Her daughter, who hadn't returned for many years, actually came back and brought her such a grandson and granddaughter. This made her happier than anything else. Even though Bufifan and Guogua weren't Mr. Ruan's biological children, their obedience was enough to make Mr. and Mrs. Ruan dote on them. Su Yun finally understood why Wan Qingshuang bought so many bowls and chopsticks when they went shopping before they came. It turned out that when they ate at home, they didn't even have proper utensils. The pot of pork belly stewed with cabbage and vermicelli was filled with plastic bowls that were usually used to wash vegetables. But no one disliked everything here. Guogua ate very happily. In her words, the pork belly stewed with cabbage and vermicelli was absolutely better than the supreme steak pizza at Pizza Hut. Fortunately, they sold a lot of vacuum-packed meat before they came. Otherwise, this big family would only have one pot of pork belly stewed with cabbage and vermicelli, which really wasn't enough. Mrs. Ruan was also very embarrassed. She didn't know that so many people would come today to give the Ruan family such a big surprise, so she only bought 10 yuan of pork. Other than the stewed vegetables, the rest of the pork and cabbage were only used to make a plate of dumplings. But this plate was enough. It didn't matter how much dumplings were eaten. What mattered was that the family could sit together and eat. When the whole family sat together to eat, even if the stuffing was pure cabbage, it would still be fragrant if each person took a bite. Without a family, even if you were given a plate of sea cucumber, abalone, and shrimp stuffing, it would be tasteless. Happiness and joy overflowed on the faces of Ruan Qingshuang and her husband, as well as Ruan Qingshuang's face. Only those who had lost it knew how precious this long-lost happiness was. However, the tranquility and happiness of the Ruan family did not last for more than half an hour, before it was broken by the clamor of people. Curses came from outside the door, and the sound of hoes and shovels colliding could be heard. "Old Ruan, bring your daughter and get your ass out here." Previously, our Lu family didn't stoop to your level because you don't have any children by your side. Now that your daughter is back, you have to give our Lu family an explanation. The cursing outside the door was getting louder and louder. Old Ruan and Mrs. Ruan's faces were filled with panic and bewilderment again. "Dad, Mom, this is all my fault. I'll handle it." Ruan Qingshuang stood up. "Trust me, I can handle it. I'll go with you." Su Yan also stood up. Needless to say, Chou Yun naturally stood up and followed. Ruan Qingshuang had helped her and Guogua. If anyone dared to touch Ruan Qingshuang, Chou Yun would definitely beat them until they cried for their parents. Bufifan also put down his bowl and chopsticks and said to old Ruan and his wife, "Grandpa, Grandma, don't worry. If anyone dares to touch my Aunt Shuang, I'll be the first to cripple them." Guogua put her hands on her waist and said, "That's right. Let's go. Let's see what they're going to do." Old Ruan and his wife had always been unable to raise their heads in front of the village elders because they did not have any children by their side. No matter what happened, they would nod and bow, swallow their anger, and apologize. They were afraid that if they provoked someone, they would have no one to back them up. All these years, old Lu's family had been cold to them, and they did not dare to make a sound. This time, they were enveloped by such a strong sense of security. This feeling once again made the two old men's eyes fill with tears. Ruan Qingshuang and the rest walked out of the door and saw 20 to 30 middle-aged men holding hoes and shovels. Old Lu stood in front of them, and beside him was his eldest son Lu Gang, who looked a little too young. When the crowd saw Ruan Qingshuang, they hesitated for a long time before they could confirm that this western-looking city beauty was Ruan Qingshuang. Lu Gang was about to drool. He stared at Ruan Qingshuang with wide eyes and smacked his lips. "Qingshuang, I missed you so much. This time, you came back to spend the rest of your life with me, or to bring me to the city to enjoy life." In the face of such a shameless guy, Ruan Qingshuang had nothing to say to him. She looked at old Lu firmly and said, "Uncle Lu, I didn't agree to anything in the past. You don't have to entangle yourself with my family. Moreover, my parents didn't ask for a single cent from you. You'd better not make trouble without reason. Otherwise, don't blame me for calling the police." "Call the police?" Lu Gang snorted. "Qingshuang, you've been a rich lady in the city for a few days. Have you forgotten the situation in our hometown? There has never been a police officer in our place. Moreover, it's New Year's Eve. Where are you going to find the police? Even if you call the police, no one will come." Su Yan laughed in his heart. It was great that the police did not come. In other words, he could do whatever he wanted in a while. "Ruan Qingshuang, you're much more powerful than before. You've learned a lot in the city, haven't you?" Old Lu said firmly. "You ran away in the past, saying that it was because my son had a problem with his brain. He was not smart enough and was a fool. My son can't even find a wife now. Everyone in the surrounding villages said that you were afraid of marrying into our family, and would rather go out and beg for food. You've made our Lu family lose face. My son can't even find a wife now because of you. Now that you're back, you're going to marry my son. You're going to give birth to our Lu family's children, and carry on the family line." Ruan Qingshuang spat. If it weren't for old Lu's age, she would have scolded him for being shameless. Ruan Qingshuang had scruples, but Bufifan did not. He would not care about respecting the old, and loving the young for an old bastard he did not know. You're an adult. Don't you have any shame? Why don't you piss and let your son look at himself? Just drop it. What does he have to be worthy of my Auntie Shuang? Damn, I've learned a lot today. I've heard of toads wanting to eat swan meat, but I've never heard of a maggot in the toilet wanting to eat swan meat. Hearing such a brat call him a maggot, Lu Gang was furious. He picked up the hoe and said, I'll kill you with this hoe. Lu Gang. Stop. Ruan Qingshuang shouted angrily. Lu Gang glared at Bufifan and put down the hoe in his hand. Qingshuang, I'll listen to you. As long as you come back and live with me, I'll listen to anything you say. Even if you want me to dig up my ancestors' graves with this hoe, I'll listen. When old Lu heard this, he really wanted to slap his son. Shut the *CK up. Don't talk nonsense if you want to get a wife. Guogua was really tickled by Lu Gang's words. Ha ha ha, I finally understand what not enough means. If your ancestors heard you, you wouldn't need to dig with your hoe. They would climb up and shake your hand. Even a little girl dared to laugh at him. Lu Gang could no longer control his emotions. If I don't kill you today, my surname is not Lu. Lu Gang, if you dare to touch my daughter, I'll make you wish you were dead. For the first time, Ruan Qingshuang showed her fierce side in front of others. In fact, many years of hard life in the city had already taught her this side, but she had never shown it. However, when someone really threatened the people she wanted to protect, she finally showed this side of her ruthlessly. Lu Gang was stunned and shocked. He almost went crazy. Your daughter? You betrayed me, you have a child. Lu Gang, let me tell you, you have no right to question me. Ruan Qingshuang said. We have no relationship at all. Don't think that I'm a member of your Lu family. We have no relationship at all. You bitch. You bitch. I'm going to kill you and your bastard child today. Lu Gang roared and raised his hoe. Just as Su Yin and Cho Yun were about to make a move before Lu Gang did something crazy, Bufifan suddenly took a big step forward and jumped up high. His right fist was like an arrow that shot out explosively, fiercely smashing into Lu Gang's face. Lu Gang, who worked hard every day and had a strong body, staggered and squatted on the ground after being hit by Bufifan's fist. His face quickly swelled up. Su Yin didn't expect Bufifan to have such great potential. This guy was quite scary when he was angry. Bufifan had long regarded Guogua as his own sister, and Ruan Qingshuang as half his mother, but he refused to admit it. Now that someone insulted his family, of course he didn't want to. Since the other party wanted to solve the problem by force, he would accompany them. He wanted to see if his fist was harder, or this bastard's mouth was harder. Lu Gang had always been famous for his fighting skills in the village. Now that he was thrown to the ground by a teenager, where would he put his face? I'll *King kill you. Lu Gang shouted and got up. He held the hoe tightly and smashed it toward Bufifan's head. This guy was really crazy. He didn't care about the consequences at all. Bufifan was shocked. Facing the hoe that was smashing toward his face, he was really stunned. It wasn't that he hadn't fought in school before, but he had never met such a ruthless person. If this hoe really hit his face, he would probably be lucky to have a paralyzed face. He might really die here. At this critical moment, Ruan Qingshuang hugged Bufifan without hesitation and used her back to block Lu Gang's hoe. Bufifan's mind went blank. Ruan Qingshuang didn't care about her own life to protect him. This was an indescribable shock to Bufifan. Lu Gang was also dumbfounded. He didn't want to hurt the goddess he had admired since he was young, but he couldn't stop the hoe that had already been thrown. The hoe was about to hit Ruan Qingshuang's body, but it was caught by a strong hand. Unknowingly, Su Yin, who had been standing at the back, came to the front of the crowd. He caught the hoe that Lu Gang threw at him with his hand and said with a disdainful smile, "What's the point of bullying women and children when you're a man? Do you want to play with me? Daddy, show him who's boss. Show him who he can't afford to offend." Guogua put her hands on her waist and said fiercely. Lu Gang was shocked, but he quickly recovered. He said fiercely, "Looks like you're that little bastard's father." Lu Gang, who was burning with anger, wanted to take back the hoe and have a good fight with Su Yun. However, he suddenly realized that no matter how hard he tried, the hoe wouldn't budge. Su Yun gently raised his wrist, and the other end of the hoe lifted Lu Gang up. Su Yun said with a relaxed face, "With this little strength, you must be very slow when doing farm work, right? Do you want me to teach you?" You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.